All right. Hopefully that works. I don't know if you guys can, if it's streaming on YouTube now or not. Let me double check. YouTube has just recently pulled down a bunch of my other videos. They continue again throughout the last 3 months. I've been pulled off of live streams twice. I wonder if Candace is having these issues. I bet she's not.
Dang, what's the problem? I wonder.
Let me see if this is actually. This is going. Let's see. It's 5:04. Yeah, folks. So it is still not streaming to YouTube. I don't know what's going on with that. Oh, here we go. Looks like it is now. All right. It's not streaming on the original listing, but it is what it is. All right. So for those of you who don't know, they just recently released, and by they, I mean Stu Peters, released an illegally recorded phone call from Mitch on December 20th, before I had talked to any of his wives, his children, or anything else. I did a background check on Mitch. I found some phone numbers. I called the first one and was completely shocked that Mitch himself answered. So I went on to ask him some questions. This is a investigation. All right. The last time I checked, that we're supposed to be asking questions. And just like a good investigative journalist, I called the man to get his side of the story in completely good faith. And there was a couple of things that I told him that I want to make sure that we set the record straight on. But before we get to that, number one, I do want to lay out some ground rules for this. Number one, we welcome you to disagree. All right. I encourage you to disagree. And I'm encouraging you to ask me hard questions, all those things. With that being said, we're not going to put up with anybody trolling in the comments. We're not going to put up, which I've been getting slammed by bots left and right, all over our YouTube comments, all over X. Every single one that you pull up is either a new account, a low follower account. It is clearly not a real person behind it. And I will say, like we talked about it the other night, sock puppet accounts. There could be a real person behind there, but it is somebody that's managing, 50, 100 different accounts, and all they are there to do is to push propaganda. So this is extremely artificial, and it's very, very obvious. The other thing, too, is we will take questions at the end. I'm going to go through. We're going to play this video. I'm going to put some context into all this stuff. But we'll play this video. We'll stop it every now and then talk. I don't think Jay Witt has watched this. I know SK Dub hasn't watched this. So I want their initial and raw reactions with all of this stuff.
I like it.
So, again, I called this guy in good faith. And I said, hey, look, man, I just want to hear the truth from you. And I told him specifically, if you're telling me the truth, I will be your biggest advocate. I meant that. I also told him, if I find out you're lying, I will call you out. I also meant that. Multiple times throughout that phone call, he lied to me. And we're going to talk about it in their obvious lies. Now, the other thing I want to mention is, number one, he asked me if I was recording. I had a recorder ready to go. And I said, no, I'm not recording. And I decided not to record in good faith. Little did I know, well, look, I suspected, just given the type of personality that he is and how manipulative he is, that he was going to be recording. All right. I did nothing wrong. This was a perfectly good phone call. This was the best phone call. It was a perfect phone call. Best phone call ever. All right. It's a real investigative phone call asking him questions. That's what we're here to do. And apparently there's only one side of this discussion that can actually ask questions. Yeah, no, I wasn't going to be a dick to him or anything else. People are like, oh, you act like you're a buddy with him. Yeah, I freaking talked to this guy. And again, this is before I found out all the other things about him from his wife, ex-wives, his people that he's been in a relationship with, from his children. This is the very first phone call in this entire investigation that I made. This is what we got. So again, we found out a bunch of other information. I keep hearing this thing where people are like, well, where's their proof that the ex-wives are telling the truth? Well, here's the real proof that the ex-wives are telling the truth. Lene told us that she did not trap him in the garage, break his thumbs with a hammer, and lock him in there and then bash him over the head with a hammer. He said on June 25th of 2016, that's what she did. Well, guess what? We had video evidence that was a lie. We have documented police report, and we have a conviction from that date. It is proof that he turned this entire story from misery, where his wife led him into the garage, locked him in there, broke his thumbs, broke his feet, hit him over the head with a hammer, left the hammer, and went inside. And then he had to beat the door handle off to get inside to get to his kid. It's proof that he's a liar. The other thing that we found out today is that on, I think, December 1st, in his I don't know, efforts for fame and fortune or whatever, popularity, he also claims that his father was the Zodiac killer, which is...
I did see that.
I just saw that, yeah.
Can I say something about that real quick?
Absolutely.
Because when I saw this, I was like, this is a joke, right? Somebody sent telling me, like, this guy's claiming to be his dad to be the Zodiac killer. I was like, there's no way. That's not real life. They're messing with me. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, look, either way you look at this, either he's lying about his dad being the Zodiac killer, or he's telling the truth. Both of those things are equally as bad.
Right, right.
And again, you know, we've continued to catch him in lie after lie after lie. Those are just facts. So,
hey, Gary.
Yes, sir.
Before you play the video, can you please just make sure everyone fully understands the timeline? Because I think that's where the strength of Cantifa is in confusing people about the timeline. That, you know, well, Gary said that he wasn't on the campus or he wasn't at Fort Huachuca, but then Gary on the video, on the audio says that. Well, can you help them understand, like, when are the dates and the times that this is? Because this is, if you, I just want to make sure that everybody knows, when was this recording made? When was the phone call made? What is the date and the time of it? Because you didn't know a lot of other things about him that you know now when you picked the phone up and called him then. I don't think people fully understand. I want to make sure people fully understand that, because I think that's the strength of Cantifa, is that they don't fully understand the times. But
yeah, so this is, when I called him on December 20th, it was right after, I don't know, within days of her actually having him on the show. So I wanted to know from his own words, like, I wanted to know what was going on. I also wanted to verify of his story when it came to his military records. One of the things that I asked him on that phone call that you guys will see is, I said, hey, you know, send me your DD-214. Let me look at what's going on with that. He sent me his DD-214. The guy was a Green Beret. Okay. That doesn't mean anything. I always thought from the beginning, and I have a whole montage of videos that I always thought that he was on Fort Huachuca. That's the proof that he told Candace. I don't doubt that he was on Fort Huachuca. What I knew was a lie from the beginning was the idea of him walking into and stumbling upon some secret meeting. And then you have to make a further logical jump saying that meeting had to do with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Now, I didn't make that assumption. Candace Owens did, and nobody else out there. Candace Owens at the beginning of that episode said, hey, after you hear this story, there's no other conclusion you're going to be able to come to other than that the U.S. government is going to have to admit they were involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So she planted that seed and that assumption from the very beginning that this was proof of a meeting that was held, a secret meeting at Joint Task Force Southern Border, which has nothing to do with anything Charlie Kirk, that they were planning the assassination of Charlie Kirk. That's what she said all throughout that. And on top of that, in that episode, in both episodes that she had with this guy, or talking about his story, all throughout, she claims, hey, this guy's telling the truth. I vouch for him on this. There's no other conclusion that you're going to come to that this is other than this is true. And then she stated that Brian Harpole was there. She stated that Erica Kirk was there the night before. She has since, somehow it came out that Cabot Phillips was there. That's been proven incorrect. That was after the fact. I guess she sent him a photo or something like that. Was this guy there? Oh yeah, he was there too. Congressman Amade, however you say his name. Yeah, we've proven that is not true. So 2 out of the 4 people have a airtight alibi. The other 2 do as well. I have additional documents proving that Brian Harpole wasn't there, that he doesn't want shared to the public. And there's other things going on with that whole situation as well. I also know that Erica Kirk's alibi is solid as well.
Right. And I did a video about how Frank Turek inadvertently confirmed that Erica wasn't there because him and Charlie Kirk went on a walk. And before he went on the walk, Charlie Kirk was late. Yep. Charlie Kirk was late coming outside because he said Gigi woke up and he had to tend to her. And so that means that the baby, the girl is in the house. Now, if Erica's out somewhere gallivanting around, I don't know how Charlie just left his daughter in the house by herself, or Erica's in the house. It's very simple. So these are the things that people seem to, and I've made this point quite a bit. If you're trying to be gracious to somebody, I don't dig into and say, well, Gary, you got to tell me every nanosecond of where you were between this time and that time. If you say, Jason, I was at the range, or Jason, I was at the shop, or I was at, fixing my Harley, that's okay. He was fixing his Harley. All right, there we go. That's it. Enough said. Yeah. On to the next discussion. But because we're not trying to be gracious, and Cantifa can't be gracious because they themselves have not received grace, then they can't do that. And they can't conceptualize that, you know what? Gary probably was. If Gary said he was in the kitchen making himself a sandwich, he's not taking a picture of himself making a sandwich. There's not going to be metadata of him spreading the peanut butter, right, on the French toast. So that being the case, I'm just going to take that Gary said he was in the kitchen making himself a sandwich. Well, and there's not going to be evidence or some way to prove that. Go ahead.
Well, again, where this comes back to is the principle that, guess what? If you're going to accuse somebody of something, you need to have evidence of the accusation, not somebody constantly having to prove that they're innocent of a crime that you're, accusing them of. We have everything backwards. Everything about this entire investigation from the Candace side has been absolutely backwards. It's accuse first, come to a conclusion first, and then try to find evidence that supports that. And then instead of actual evidence of the accusation, hey, you know what? Let's force everybody to prove their innocence. That is some Salem witch trial bullshit. And it's just, it's an upside down world.
I completely agree. That's exactly what I was going to say. I cannot imagine being any of these people that are being sucked into this and being, dragged across the internet, because once accusations are made, you can't take those back. Public opinion is public opinion, just like in your community. If somebody in your community gets arrested for something terrible, like essaying somebody, whether they go to trial and are found not guilty or whether the charges are dismissed, everyone in your town is looking at that person and remember them being arrested for SA, whether they did it or not. And that's the problem here. But that they know that. They know that. Joe Biden wrote it in his pardon that he was pardoning these people because Donald Trump was going to go after them and try to ruin them and their reputation and financially and blah, 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 blah. I cannot imagine accusing people of things like this and dragging them into this without any proof. And when I heard that Candace Owens was sending photos to this man asking, was this person there? Was this person there? Anyone that's following this should have immediately completely stopped listening to anything that was going on. That's not how this works. Yeah. You can't just do that.
Yeah, it's completely backwards. All right, so let's go ahead and play this video, and let's hear about this super, I don't know, problematic phone call that I had with Mitch Snow. And then
your investigative journalism, that's a problem because you were actually going to a primary source. Wild.
It is crazy.
How long were you at group? Sorry,
let me know if you guys can hear it okay.
Volume. Yeah, who's this?
This is Gary Melton. How are you?
Gary who?
My name is Gary Melton. Yeah. What's going on, man? So I'm a former first group guy. I saw your interview with Candace, and I just had a few questions for you.
You do? Okay. Are we being recorded or anything? Are we being? Let me jump in my car here.
It's crazy that I don't understand how they got their camera up and rolling so fast.
Yeah, talk to Mr. Valhalla. He had some ideas. Well, and who are you again? Your Nate, Gary. Sorry, Nelson.
Just a second. Melton, M-E-L-T-O-N.
Okay.
Gary Melton.
All right. What kind of questions you got for me?
Well, I'd like to know a little bit more about. I'd like to know a little bit more about your history. You're kind of saying that you're, a former SF guy.
Yeah.
Again, folks, the other thing that I want you to realize is there was 30 minutes of this video taken out. All right. I have about 2.5 hours. I will show you guys that. I actually have the call logs that I will share with you. So they have continued. Number one, they released this illegally. Number two, they have edited this video. I haven't watched this. I don't know what's taken out, but I think it's important to know that up front.
Oh, back in 1991, I can get you the class date probably in a few.
Okay. Would it be possible for you to say, look, if your story checks out, I'm all about it, man. I don't want to, I'm not here to do you dirty or anything like that. But, obviously we have a regiment and, we take that stuff very seriously.
Uh-huh.
Would it be possible for you to send me your DD-214?
Sure. The only thing you haven't done is you haven't told me who you're with.
Oh, so I'm with, basically like Valhalla, I have a YouTube channel. Paramount Tactical. I know Nate. I just talked to Nate yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, he's a good guy, by the way. I'm a fan of his.
We're great. We're good friends, and
Okay.
I see. Yeah. So if you could send me your DD-214, and we can verify your story, and we can get to the bottom of. We all want the truth.
Sure.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. That's actually what we're all trying to do. Did it just switch
how
over?
long were you at group?
How long were you at group? Sorry, the phone's switching to Bluetooth.
We're switching to Bluetooth
That's okay.
here for. Give it a minute for the fight for the Bluetooth here.
Gary,
Yes,
There it
sir.
goes.
who's in the car with him?
It's his girlfriend. Her name is Amy. As far as I understand, her name is Amy Snow. They're not married and of no relationship.
Oh,
or
wow.
no relation, but that is her name as well. So she is recording this via her phone camera. But yeah, that's who's with him.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, it just seemed odd that, again, the position of the camera initially was very strange.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what it was. Okay.
From 93, what was it, March? I want to say February, March of 93 until 15 November 1996.
3 years.
You said, I'll say it one more time for me.
February, March
February, March
of
of 93 until 15 November 96.
And what was your MOS?
18 Charlie.
Now I know in some of the other documents and stuff, you said you were a medic as well.
I went through the 300 F1 course, broke my back there down in Fort Sam, Houston. It was just something stupid,
Can I stop for a second, Gary?
Sergeant Dagnon. You can probably look him up on SF.
What's the normal time frame of me enlisting in the Army and becoming a special force? How long would that? What's the usual time of that? Because he's only in the Army 3 years.
So that is, the problem is that there's a couple of different options with that. They also have the X-ray program where you can come in, you can go to, you basically you can start out with your enlistment with the intention of going to SF. And they've offered different pathways to become Special Forces, a Green Beret, at different times throughout the history. They've had the X-ray program at different times. Sometimes they haven't offered the X-ray program. Typically what you're going to see is that someone is going to be in the military for about 2 to 3, 4, 5 years. And then they're going to go to pass selection, and then they can go to the Q course. Once they finish the Q course, which depending on the MOS is, like a year long up to 2 years long. Then you become an actual Green Beret. You graduate, you're qualified, you get your tab, all these things.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that he wasn't a Special Forces. It just seems odd that he was able to do that in less than 3 years because he's also a medic, and it apparently doesn't have
what he's
any.
saying is that while he was SF, and I clarify this a little bit later, while he was SF, he went to the standard medic course, which is really strange. Okay. I've never heard of anybody doing that. I've heard of guys switching MOS, going from like an 18 Bravo, 18 Charlie over to an 18 Delta. I've never heard of anybody on a team getting sent to the standard. I think he called it the SF 300, which I do think is a standard. If you're just going to be a medic in the Army, a low level, I don't want to say low level, but a standard medic in the Army.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where that comes from. Allegedly.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen documentation saying that he actually attended and graduated the SF 300 course, but that doesn't mean he didn't.
Brothers. He's a good guy, but also I think every one of us are assholes. I was just one of the young guys that he convinced to go up to. I was known for going up to the Guadalupe River between Fort Sam and between San Antonio and Austin. Yep. Great place to go vacation, all that stuff. And in the summertime, they do they float down the river, and the girls show us all their tits and stuff. It's a fun time. I was young, honey.
I know. I get it.
I'm a guy. You like that part. So look, I was known for going up there, and we were running into a problem qualifying guys, getting them their jumps in for hazardous duty pay. He knew I was going up there, so I took the route he told me, but we didn't, count on the fact that winter there'd been a what do you call this thing? A sinkhole that developed there, and it ate away at the little cliff, and I ended up falling like 60 feet. I broke my everything. Broke all the tarsals of my feet, calcaneus, both calcaneuses, left kneecap, shredded in half. I had to squeeze that back on. Lower lumbar, first, second, and third lumbars. Later on, we found out that I also had broken my C5 and 6. Complete dislocation of left arm, torn labrum.
You're lucky. You're not only lucky that you are alive. You're lucky you can still even walk.
It was. That's a God thing. There was a colonel. Hold on, I remember his name. He's a good guy. Starts with Firth. Colonel Firth. He was in charge of the 300 F1 course back then, and he wanted me to go right back into the course because they couldn't recycle people back then. We didn't have enough slots, and that was like the first time I ever stood up for myself, and I said, "Look, people, I'm broken head to toe. I need some time off."
So he says, number one, they're going to put him right back in the course. He's broken from head to toe. You know what? I need to stand up for myself, and I need some time off. Listen to what he says next.
I told him I have to go home for a little bit, and I think I took 3 weeks. I went home and climbed mountains. I'm an idiot.
I went home and climbed mountains. My whole entire body's broken, but I went home and climbed mountains.
But they put me in a Jewett brace. I came back, and I had to get recycled into the next class, but they wouldn't be able to get me in for like a year or so. But I was right at the point of starting the internship, and then that's right before they sent me back to Bragg for Goat Lab. So I pretty much I did the internship at the Brooklyn Army Medical Center burn ward.
Yeah.
So I was in the middle of that when all this happened.
So did you ever go to an ODA?
ODA 163166. Yeah.
I'm sorry, 163?
163
Uh-huh.
and 166.
2006. So you were a first group.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. So was I. Yeah, I was at. I was on 183, 185.
Oh, so you're an old dog too, because you got the old numbers. All right.
Yeah. They actually, when I got there, I got there. We actually switched to 1323, and so I was there. I got there in 2006.
Oh, you got there.
So
that's actually a little bit. Were they still doing? Because I thought they switched the numbers up. Didn't they do that around 2000 or so?
No. It was 2000, 2006, 2007 that they went to the new numeric system.
Yeah, I haven't been able to figure out the numeric whatever system. Somebody tried to explain it to me before, and I don't know. Okay.
Well, it used to be obviously
Hey, Gary.
the first group, sixth
Did
company.
you check the
13,
chat
right?
in here?
Sure.
Just to make sure.
No.
I didn't know if you saw it.
It's
No.
first. So it's first, like for 183 instead of being one first group, 8th company, 3rd team. It is first group.
So forgive me, guess
battalion,
what? You've already lost me, sir.
3rd battalion.
Okay.
3rd battalion. 3rd battalion, 2nd company, 3rd team. So they just added the battalion in there is really what it is. So it's just simplifies a little bit.
I'm just gonna keep driving around for a little bit. We'll keep driving around while we got you on the card thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Bluetooth. I'll get you documents. Not a problem.
Where do you want them
Sounds
sent
good.
to?
We got all the documents.
Where do you want them sent?
It's Gary.
Yeah, and one of the things I want you guys to know, again, they did dox my phone number on this. And I'm going to be changing my phone very soon. I'm getting nothing but crazy phone calls, harassing texts nonstop. I did not do that to him.
Oh, so this is what they put on the internet? This is the video that they published?
I'm playing this
okay. Well,
off of-
I saw that message and I'm like, should I let him know? Like, so he knows when to
No,
stop it? 'Cause I
I'm
didn't
playing this
know-
off of Stu Peters'
Okay.
Twitter account. Yeah.
Got it. So they
I'm playing this off of Stu
awesome.
Peters' account.
So we're dealing with really awesome people.
Gary at Paramount.
I'll text it to you.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll
perfect.
text
No
it.
offense, I'm
I'll
going to go
text
ahead
it.
and do my own lookup on you too, because I don't know. You sound
Absolutely.
suspect, you know.
We gotta
I
watch
hear
our
you.
back too.
You know, I'll be calling you Private Snuffy on my own YouTube channel here soon. if you do,
I'm popping popcorn.
okay, sir, we're talking here, and I know why you're calling me and stuff. I really have to laugh stuff up because I've been through some hellish shit, and I've been trying to warn our boys for it for a long while. But you know, and I laugh and joke a lot because
That's how we get through.
it's just fucking ridiculous. But yeah, if you tell Nate, no, I've been a fan. I actually tried to get on his show. I paid money to try and give him the tip
Super chats, yeah.
that I had. I wanted him to vet me. Okay, you tell him that. I wanted to go through him, period. Because you know we both know.
Well, I'm sure I'll talk to Nate even today, but you know, you're definitely. I think he has an invite for you to come on his show, and you definitely have an invite to come on my show. So.
Wow. I'm getting invited. Hold on, honey.
We'd love to feature. We'd love to feature you. And
Thank you.
look, if your story is true,
Yeah.
you know, this just doing due diligence.
Oh yeah, there's
no.
people
Sure
out
that-
there. I've only got
get
like
it.
half the nation in TPUSA now trying to search me down and kill me and dig up all my dirty records and
Search
dirty
me down
laundry.
and kill me.
Yeah, no.
It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no. I only know. I never meant for things to blow up like this.
No.
It was just a tip that
Yeah.
I was just trying to get.
To Candace, like,
Things just weighed on my heart.
we
And-
tried to get to Valhalla, and then we were talking to a friend. I mean, you heard the
We
story.
had a friend
Gary,
here.
but
She's a cute little girl.
Yeah.
She has her own great
she's
story.
like a go-getter. She's like
And she
cheerleader.
heard what
yeah.
I had to say, and I just mentioned to her. I was like, "Yeah, we were trying to go through Valhalla and stuff, and you know, we got blown off. Whatever. It's really hard to get through to these people because
Everybody's busy.
yeah, everybody's got an ego.
Well, everybody's inundated.
Well, and just like you know,
The volume.
Hey, how do you get through 4
it's
million?
the volume.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the volume of
It's
4 million
ego.
stories. How
Yeah.
do you get through that?
I mean, you can't. It's like luck. Yeah, it's just.
no problem.
yeah.
We've had the same problem at the FBI.
Yeah.
That being
everywhere.
said,
yeah.
I we mentioned it to her, and she's just all like, I've got to
I'm
warn
gonna message
Candace.
her right
I'm
now.
going to message her right now on Instagram and write her an email.
And Mitch and I looked at you like,
we looked at each other like,
like, we
yeah,
haven't
sure,
tried
okay,
that.
that's precious, Marcy. Okay,
Go for it, yeah.
you do that. And before we got off the call, Candace Owens is calling me.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Sitting
what
in the
the
gym parking
actual?
lot.
You got
Yeah.
to be kidding me. But no, I tried to tell Candace, you don't want my story. It's been a crazy long saga as to why I was at Fort Huachuca. And yeah, it's
Real quick,
she
Gary,
kept pulling that thread. She wanted the vet.
does he ever explain the whole drug kingpin underground tunnel? Does he ever?
Yes, he gets to that. I'm wondering because look, this is one of the things that really stood out to me is part of that story, and it was part of the story, and you guys can hear. All I got to do is sit back and listen, and that's all I'm doing.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to let him talk because he likes to talk, and I'm just going to let him go wherever he wants to take us on this, and just sit back and listen. And he ends up talking about the where he was assigned down at the border, which I don't doubt is true. Matter of fact, I know that's true. I don't believe that he was there during an actual drug bust, but he ends up telling me a story about that is just, I was gobsmacked. Like it was such nonsense. And I'm hoping he includes that. I have no idea. This is the first time I'm listening to this all the way through.
Okay.
I have no idea where that 30 minutes of
Came
phone call actually went. So I'm not sure what was cut out and what wasn't.
I've gone through this with her. Went through this with who was it? Joe Kent.
Yeah.
Great guy, by the way. He's very busy. And yeah, I've sent him all the records, all that kind of stuff. I'll send them to you. Can you do me one favor? Just the guys around here, there's some vets around here. I've had a real problem with them. I give them records. Next thing you know, things get propagated. People copy stuff off. That's been one of the problems I've had around here with vets. I'm not a real.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question, real quick.
I'm a fan of a lot of vets.
So he's been giving records and reaching out to people all while he was under the 35-day witness protection plan, correct?
The 35-year.
Do I say 35-day? Yes, 35-year.
The NDA.
Right, NDA. And he's giving records. He's communicating with people, sharing his stuff with these people during this time that he's supposed to be on the hunt from cartels and all bad people and stuff like that, and witness protection. Okay, got it. I just want to make sure I heard it right.
Hold on, I just want to clarify something real quick. Okay. To be fair, early on, he says that he tried to get into witness protection and he qualified for it, but it fell through. I don't even know what that means. But I can tell you that none of his family ever heard about anything witness protection. None of his family ever heard about him being chased by the cartels, any of those things. I'm sorry, SK, what were you saying?
No, you're fine. You're perfectly fine. I just want to make it clear that I haven't watched all of Candace Owens' episodes, and I don't know all of the claims that have been made. I don't pay attention. I just do my own research and investigation, and I just check in here and there, or I see things on social media, whatever. I've only watched a few like full episodes about this topic.
Sure.
I am wondering, did I remember, or am I imagining that the son was called when this supposedly was taking place, but the son didn't know his name, know it was him because he changed his name, but he didn't really change his name? Is there something around that?
Yeah. So in 2010, he changed his name. He went from Harry Myers to Mitchell Snow. And he changed his name in 2010 because he married Lene Snow. And completely went from Harry Myers. And I had her on the show. We have a whole full interview. She was explaining to us, like, he was like, all right, we're getting married. I just want to change my name. And I would rather have your name because I don't like my father. Because, apparently now we found out today that his father was allegedly the Zodiac killer. So he changed his entire name. And she was like, that, it was weird to me at the time. I didn't know why he wanted to do this, but that didn't happen until 2010.
Obviously, 2010.
If you are being chased by the cartel from 1990 forward, you'd probably want to do that a little bit sooner.
A little bit sooner, but that was one of the things that I remember, because I don't know all of the details of all of the claims, and I don't know all of the details of all of this whole situation. But I do remember thinking, wait a minute, I remember him saying that he like changed his name, and then I remembered thinking, how did he get on the base? If he changed his name, how do you get on a military base? You can't just go on a military base.
So
like,
he does have a veteran ID, and you can get on a military. Like, it's actually not that hard to get on a military base. It's not that hard, especially for a veteran. There's ways to even civilians to get on a military base. Not that hard to get on a military base. What you're not going to do is stumble upon a secure meeting. And a secure meeting wouldn't even be held. Well, it would be held in a skiff, not in just where you walk in staff duty in Joint Task Force Southern Border.
You mean it's not like the movies?
It's not like it's actually kind of like the movies, but
they're not just going to stumble onto a private meeting in a spy movie.
I haven't ever seen, even in a movie, something so ridiculous as like you just walk in the front door and you see this meeting taking place that's super secret. At least in the movies, they put it in like some sort of secure facility, but he doesn't even claim that. And again, the claim was never that his claim was never that there was a secret meeting about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. That claim came directly from Candace at the opening of her show and throughout her show. She's the one making that claim. She's the one tying what he saw to the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Correct.
Right. I mean, we don't trust people with documents.
Well, here's what I'll tell you, man. Listen, I think there's nothing more important than integrity. And if you send me any records, number one, I will. Look, I have a good reputation in the SF community and online and everywhere else. What I'm not going to do is, I'm not going to send your record to anybody.
Okay. I just want to make this very clear. Number one, I have all of his information. I have his social security number. I have his address. I have his phone number. I have never and would never dox him. All right. That's what I would not do.
I'll say that. I will confirm or deny your records verbally. I'm not here to smear you. I'm not here to, mess with you or anything like that. I want to know if the story is true.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. And I'm going to send you my personal contact information right now. And if you need anything from me, beyond this, and like I said, I'd love to have you on the show.
Okay.
Let's get to the truth.
Yeah,
simple as that.
That sounds great.
And I haven't had a lot of luck. As a matter of fact, those guys in SF Brothers, I helped start that. I'm one of the people that helped at the beginnings of SF Brothers and Facebook and stuff. I'm one of the first 100 that got onto there. And to put that together for guys, because, you probably remember since you were there earlier, if you got out prior to like 2006, you went out into a black abyss. You got cut off. I mean, it was hard enough to keep track of guys that you knew that were on the teams right across the hall from you, because everybody's on such a tempo. But then all of a sudden you're outside of group. People move, people change orders, people within a year, you're sort of cut off. And we
lose contact with everybody.
So the whole Facebook thing actually ended up being a good, place for everybody to sort of meet up
platform.
After. Yeah. And that's where, what was his name? He died a few years ago. The guy who started it. Really good guy. Still got him on the friends list somewhere. I'll remember it. But Thomas Drinkard, some of the old guys there.
Let me clarify this. I've seen this multiple times. I didn't bring up Nate's name. He brought it up. He said, "Oh, I really like Valhalla." I was like, "Hey, you know what? I'm friends with Nate. I know him. But like, what do you want me to do? Act like I don't know him? I do know him." And I called Nate and told him about this phone call right after we talked.
Yeah, we put it together. They wanted me to be the admin at first, and I said, "No, heck no."
And what's even if I
prior to that, I worked for Microsoft, and I gave him hints and whatnot, and I was real glad when Bill Olson stepped up and take it over. But he turned out to, when things went bad for me like 2 years ago, Oh, I can tell you, those guys did not.
What happened 2 years ago?
Oh.
Was that with your custody battle and everything going on with your son?
I have been trying to get divorced for 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many?
They finally let me.
How many years?
So he has, okay, the divorce has been ongoing for over 10 years. Not because of Lene's lack of effort. What he has continued to do is to slow roll this thing. He has continued to show up almost every time with a new lawyer asking for an extension. And I have verified this with different court documents on that. I don't know what else is going on with Lene. There's probably a little bit of back and forth. You know, divorces are messy and expensive. And
I can imagine.
the other thing too, oh, by the way, this is a really important part of this that I have verified, is that he has accused every judge in those counties of corruption, of other issues. So the judges in that county have recused themselves of taking on their court case, which has made it extremely difficult for Lene to finalize her divorce. So it's not because Lene hasn't been trying to get a divorce from this guy. He has continued to slow roll that.
I get the feeling from this guy that you know, when you're around people that are just like pathological liars and just like attention and just make things up so that people pay attention to them. I get that feeling from this guy. And I get the feeling that this guy is like some sort of I mean, like, I don't know what the word is. I don't know what the accurate word would be. I just feel like it's super manipulative and calculated.
Look, I'm gonna play this video real quick, and we're gonna come back to this in just a second. But this video right here tells you everything that you need to know.
That morning, she
about what's going on here. So this is him claiming that Lene, his little 5'2" wife, stole his car keys as he's trying to leave, took his car keys, lured him into the house, and then beat him. That she had the garage set up as a prison. Broke his thumbs, broke his feet, and then, well, let's see what actually happened. Little does he know, we have video of that incident. We have police reports from that incident, and we have a conviction from that incident.
You know,
Wow, that's crazy.
Loading up the vehicle to go for this meeting. You know, she came out and acting real kind. She took my keys, she took my phone, she went back inside and you know, forced me to go back in and find out what was going on. Lures me to the garage that she pre-set up to be like a little prison. You know, she broke the garage doors. Hoarded stuff was stacked against the windows and the other doors. And she lured me in there and attacked me. Hit me with a hammer and, you know, break my thumbs, my feet, back of my skull. And I got the hammer.
What year was this?
That was 25 June 2016.
So this is how long this has been going on. And just so everyone know, Mitch is still trying to get a divorce. This has been going on almost 10 years.
Eventually, I was hearing my son cry. I was worried about him, you know, having her maul him with the dogs again. And she had done that multiple times. He had been hurt really bad. So when I heard him crying, I used the hammer to go ahead and break the door handle to get back in, to get to my keys, get my son, get my phone. I used the hammer to go ahead and break the door handle to get back in, to get to my keys, get my son, get my phone. And I called for help. You know, I called for dispatch. And, you know, she tried to attack me and pulled on my arm while I was holding the phone, dislocated my arm. That's actually one of the surgeries.
So she's trying to get to his phone. So just by grabbing his arm, dislocated his arm. This guy's like the most fragile guy I've ever met. I mean, he's made of glass.
I'm still recovering from getting surgeries from it.
All right, look, I want to set this clear so that you idiots out there that keep trying to spin this around. I don't care that he smashes the car with a hammer. That's not the point. His intimidating, all this other stuff. The point here is that he turned this incident into a scene from misery to make himself the victim. He completely fabricated what he just described from whole cloth. He turned what really happened into a complete fantastical piece of fiction.
Touch that Mustang. Stop it!
Touched it.
Do not hit my Mustang.
Videotape me all you want. You're ruining our relationship because you gave your keys to your cousin.
I didn't
He lost
give
them.
my keys to anybody.
You're the one who asked him to mess with your car. I haven't touched this car in forever. It's been in my way. I'd like it out of the way. I have no idea where the keys are. Would love to know. But that's not what we were doing today. But you have to do this. You have to. Don't defend
ask you a
yourself
question.
now.
I can defend myself all I want because you're being insane.
You want to video record shit?
You want to threaten to hit my car with a hammer? God damn it! Marriage over, Mitch. Goodbye. Don't.
Then you stop it.
You know what? Do it all you want. Go ahead.
I don't want to. I want you to fucking start treating me better than you treat this car. This is how you treat us. Take it. Everybody pan around. My wife neglects us, ignores.
Just theatrics to make himself the victim. I mean, this is classic narcissistic behavior. He is a mental and emotional abuser. It's very clear to anybody with eyes that see.
Us and then screams at us on Saturday mornings about things that are completely unimportant to her. Blames me for losing things I haven't touched.
Tried to ask you if you knew where they were.
I did, and I told you I don't know.
No, you never said that. You had to give me a little asshole answer.
I didn't give you an asshole answer. I gave you a smartass answer. It's Saturday morning, and it's okay to be a smartass. You do it all the time, Lene. What is so bad about being a smartass? You do.
Yeah, I've never done crap like that, Mitch.
Yeah. That's the thing. You do it all the fucking time.
No.
That's what you do.
You just beat our door in with a hammer.
Why are you videotaping me?
Why are you acting crazy? You want me to let you in and that's what you do?
That was 25 June
Are those
2016.
kids in the
I used the
background?
hammer to go ahead and break the door handle to get back in, to get to my keys, get my son, get my phone.
All right, so this is a clear connection, both from a video standpoint, a paperwork standpoint. This is evidence. And this is the crazy stuff that I keep seeing with all this stuff is, well, what does this have to do with 2016? What does that have to do with what he saw? Look, there's a such thing as a character witness as well. And this is what we're seeing. We're seeing somebody that will make something up that is completely fictional. He has zero credibility. I don't care about the fact that he's abusive. I do, because it's a shame to see what's going on with all this stuff. But that's not even the point. I even have a problem with, look, if they're married, that is communal property. All right. He went to jail for doing that. I kind of have a problem with that. Like, you know what? If I want to go out there and beat the car up that, I'm pissed off and I want to go out there and beat the car up, I wouldn't do that, obviously. But if I wanted to do that, I shouldn't go to jail for that. So that's not the point. The point here is this is clearly a complete fabrication. And we're showing you that there is zero reason. He has no evidence of anything that took place that he claims took place on September 8th and 9th. All right. And we have proof that he's a complete liar. All right. Character witnesses matter. And on top of that, people say, well, he could be a real shitbag and see, saw what he saw. All right. They do that in courts all the time. No, they don't. First of all, there's such thing as witness credibility. Number two, if you're in a court, you actually have the threat of perjury. And the other thing that eyewitness testimony never does is convict anybody. All right. Eyewitness testimony corroborates evidence for you smooth brains out there that want to believe nonsense. But the fact is, we have time after time, including the rest of the phone call that we're going to play you. We've already talked about one incident where he's clearly making things up, saying he fell and broke every bone in his body. And then, to take some time off, he went and rock climbed or did mountain climbing for 3
He
weeks.
didn't mention he hit his head, though, did he?
I don't know.
There was so much that was damaged on him. I mean, that'd probably be a miracle of God that it didn't happen. Everything was broken. This is something else, Gary.
Yes.
I promise you, no defense attorney would call Mitch Snow.
Yeah.
None whatsoever.
No.
They would just go ahead and FOIA the security camera, the sign-in sheets, the call logs. They would not call Mitch because they know Mitch is problematic on a lot of levels, and he would not be a trustworthy witness. And this didn't take that long. None of us here on the stream are legal experts, and we were able to find all of this evidence to discredit his story. And he would again, any defense attorney that called him up there would just be signing his or her own death wish because they know that they're going to lose because this guy's not a good witness. So that's why we're bringing this up, because he's not a good witness. And I think it's fair to say that what he claims he saw, I think he was led into saying that. I think he was led into saying that, like, hey, let me show you this picture of this guy with this red beard that, goes by Tactical. Do you think it might be Gary? I mean, so I think he was led into believing this. I don't think he necessarily said it without being goaded on, but I'll leave it there. Let's go.
All right. Kelly Bagwell's the lawyer. Fact.
Years, but I went
there
through
goes.
a really bad divorce, put it that way. It wasn't 10 years, but kids were involved, and I was on deployments, and she was trying to keep the kids from me, so I can, at least to some degree.
I'm one of the guys, it's been because of my unique history, and because I did get targeted by something else that had been intentionally using this, I don't know, flaw inside of our judicial system. They just took advantage of it. And, I've had a lot of people coerced in my life while I've been going through it. My wife was one, and after a lot of events in 2013, she finally, here I was, a broken guy. I couldn't defend her. They could do whatever they wanted. And, she was deciding to go ahead and flip sides. So I decided, for my safety, my son's safety, we had to divorce. And it was supposed to be reasonable, but it became real unreasonable. And
real quick,
allegations started flying. Because I'm Special Forces, I must have combat PTSD. Therefore, I'm a wife-beating, alcoholic, drug addict.
You know what you need to have combat PTSD? Combat experience. He's never been to combat. I mean, that's a critical part of that combat PTSD. He's never went to combat. Just so we're clear. I have his records. Never been there. All right. He got out in 96, 97, something like that.
Wait, he was in the witness protection program for 35 years. How old was he when all of this happened?
Well, again, I just want to be accurate. According to his story, he never actually went into witness protection. He was supposed to go into witness protection. He did sign an NDA, which apparently was extended like 35 years or something like that. But I just want to be clear. He's claiming that he was never actually in witness protection.
Okay, but the NDA thing, wasn't it 35 years and it just ended?
I don't remember exactly, but it was an extended period of time that made no sense.
Right, because if it was 35 years and he's how old?
He was born in 69. So
that makes him 55.
Yeah. So he was 20. How would he have been in that kind of a position at that point in time with some huge drug? I know nothing about the military, just for the record.
Yeah,
I'm asking legitimate questions.
Like, that's possible. So what he said was originally is that he was in the military at 20, perfectly reasonable and possible. Many guys join at 17. And then he was assigned at a counter narcotics. It wasn't a joint task force at the time. I mean, it basically was, but that's not what they called it. So they were advising and assisting Border Patrol, and then he was putting in sensors on the border. And he alleges that during that time, they had the biggest drug bust of the biggest tunnel, the drug tunnel that was ever found. And we'll hear more about that. But yeah, so that's where we're at on that.
Spaghetti that can be thrown up on the wall. It's been accused of me. And yeah, I've been fighting through that, trying to hold on to custody of my, I helped raise my son. I was a stay-at-home dad.
And again, folks, I don't know that any of this is not true. I am sympathizing with him because I didn't know the other side of the story. All I've heard is, and again, I'm kind of the opposite. I know that he didn't, at this point, here's what I know. I know he didn't stumble into a secret meeting. That's it. I don't know the rest of his story is true. Maybe his wives are doing him dirty. Maybe, he's otherwise a great guy, but he's lying about this to get notoriety and fame. He needs money. Maybe he's desperate for money so that, he can help get his kid back. I'm willing to entertain all of those ideas. And I gave him complete benefit of the doubt. It wasn't until later that after I talked to 3 different ex-wives, one of his other girlfriends, that there was a clear cycle of abuse. There was a clear cycle of pathologically lying, all of these things. So I do, at this point, I am genuinely feeling for this guy that's telling me that and I've already seen the podcast where he was so supposedly beat up and that, his wife was doing all kinds of horrible things. I have since got court documents that prove that she was innocent. They investigated his claims, which was physical abuse, sexual abuse, all these things against his wife. It went through extensive, and I have the paperwork, extensive investigations. And not only did they not believe him, he actually kidnapped their children. She had to get a court order. A SWAT team had to go get the kid. All right. And they gave the kid back to her and gave her a protective order against him and the child a protective order against him. So all this stuff is verified, has been investigated, but I didn't know that at the time. And I did feel bad for him.
But no, they've done everything they can to criminalize me. And I noticed long ago that this was a pattern, not just with me, but across the board with SF guys. And it pissed me off.
And that they use the SF status too.
It drove some guys to suicide. It drove others to, you really got to wonder if it was suicide.
Right.
Yeah, I've been trying to raise this issue with several of our brothers, and it just typically goes nowhere. Nobody wants, do you know who Landon Valentine is?
No, I don't actually. Landon Valentine, who is he?
He was I want to say he was an officer.
Not only is it still stands, it's been renewed multiple times.
More East Coast, but yeah, he was in the room. That poor guy they just murderized him in court and it was all based upon our SF status. That's what they do. You're special forces? Oh, you must be all these other things. I'm not a gun nut. I mean, I don't mind guns. I know how to use them. Probably don't want to be on the other end when I do. But yeah, I'm not a big gun nut. I like fishing. I'd like to take my boy fishing.
I like Florida.
Yeah, Florida was nice.
Florida was nice.
But 2 years ago, my son came forward to report that he was being abused, and that didn't match the narrative of what they were trying to put down on me. He wasn't being abused by me. He was reporting being abused by mom, and she was doing it intentionally.
Okay, I'm sure this is a bot because you guys keep repeating this nonsense. All right, so you said what he said has all been verified. No, I did not. I said the exact opposite. Again, what he has said, I've found time and time again, whether it has to do with his ex-wives, his girlfriends, his kids, everything that he said has been a lie time and time again.
From what I'm gathering, again, somebody from that is learning about this in real time, all of it anyway. The only thing that's verified is that he was there, right?
He was there at Fort Huachuca. Nothing else has been verified. The material elements of the story are not only unbelievable, they didn't happen, but there's no proof. There's no proof Brian Harpole was there. There's no proof that, matter of fact, just the opposite. There's no proof that Congressman Amadei was there. Just the opposite. We now have airtight proof that he was in Washington, D.C. at the time. There's no proof that Cabot Phillips was there. Just the opposite. We now have airtight proof that he was not there. There's no proof that Erica Kirk was there. We have I know that there's proof that has been released. I know that there's proof that she was not there. So, like nothing he said materially is true.
So it's like saying like I was at this place and I saw all of this stuff, but all I can prove to you is that I was at this place.
This is what this is what it's like. It's me going out in the woods and telling you, hey, you know what? I just saw Elvis out in the woods. I take a picture of me out in the woods and I say, look, it's proof I was out in the woods. I don't have pictures of Elvis, but I was definitely out in the woods. So you have to believe me. It's the dumbest argument. It's the dumbest logic. It's stupid. It would only work with the dumbest people on the planet.
Well, I mean,
but you'd have that metadata though.
I have metadata proving I was in the woods.
Oh my gosh.
We found
well, that's it.
She was trying to set me up for a charge of child abuse, and she was getting help from the courts, from a judge over here, a couple of them. When my son came forward to report her, well, they snapped back and retaliated, and eventually they threw me in jail under allegation. I can't help but laugh. This allegation. The allegation that I was either the leader or hiring party of a unidentified biker gang to stage a mass kill event at the courthouse to kill judges. Yeah, I know. Right? That's serious. I can show you the criminal record. It's horrible. It looks terrible. The only problem with that is there was no evidence. There's no
oh crap. Don't know what I just did. Let me go back to this thing. All right, hold on. I hit one button. One button is all it took. Yeah, here we go.
How long has that been, Mitch?
2.5 years.
Your kid?
Gang to stage a mass kill event at the courthouse to kill judges.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. Right? That's serious. I can show you the criminal record. It's horrible. It looks terrible. The only problem with that is there was no evidence. There's no just like saying I'm not a gun nut, probably not typical SF guy either. I don't have a Harley. I don't ride motorcycles. I don't know anybody. I don't think I've ever spoken to anybody in a motorcycle gang ever.
I think that the whole Harley thing was big in the even I think that was kind of the end of
all right, I'm pretty sure, and again, I'm trying to remember this from memory, right? Because I didn't record this because I was a man of my word and trying to be an honest broker here. And when he asked me not to record, I didn't record. I'm pretty sure he's cut out the entire portion regarding his events, his claim of events down on the border, where this is what he told me, folks. He said that, as part of this big drug bust, he started talking about it, but then he stopped. It may come up later. We'll see. But what he claimed was that they had this huge drug bust, literally had tons of drugs, truckloads of drugs and weapons. And being the youngest guy, the lowest enlisted, they assigned him the duty of burning all of those drugs and destroying all of those guns. All right. Those drugs and guns are evidence. All right. There's a specific way that the DEA disposes of drugs. And he claims that he was out there in the middle of the night, getting a contact high and just burning literally truckloads of drugs all night long in a bonfire in the middle of the desert.
Of like,
I'm sorry.
Coke?
What's that?
Of like Coke? Wouldn't that be what they were trafficking?
I don't know if he ever said, I don't remember if he ever said it was cocaine or heroin, but it was, it really doesn't matter whether it was marijuana, whether it was cocaine, whether it was heroin.
I'm sorry.
Probably all of the above. I don't know, but we'll see if that comes up. But I'm pretty sure this was early on the conversation. And he started talking about, how this all started was, 30 years ago when I was down on the border. And pretty sure that's where he told me that story. I don't know. It remains to be seen. We'll see if we hear about it. But the point here is that this has been edited. It was illegally recorded. It's been edited. 30 minutes have been taken out. I will show you proof of that in just a moment. Show you my call logs of that.
a big push in the SF community with like almost like these biker gang type things going on within teams in like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And I think that faded out to my generation as well. But and there was guys that were getting strung up, you know. And I don't know. I guess they thought they were the Sons of Liberty and SF guys, and that's never a booze, bikes,
no
SF guys.
Nobody's ever presented to me that way, but now I sort of get that. Now. I can sort of see that. Yeah. Okay, I get you. No, if you ever met me, I walk around in Tommy Bahamas and I've got a blue and gold macaw on my shoulder. Yep. I walk around like I'm in Florida all the time, wearing hey dude, you know, red, white, and blue hey dude. I'm pretty sure I'd get my ass kicked if I ever walked into a biker gang. So no, I get the allegation. You know, like for anybody who doesn't really know or doesn't consider people being individuals.
Sure. They're just playing on stereotypes.
Yes. Yeah. You know, and this is all escalated. So they threw me in jail for 92 days, knowing I was innocent. They didn't have any. There's no evidence. There's no. Yeah, it was totally cooperative. There's no phone calls. There's no text. There's no pictures. There's no history. I don't have a motorcycle. It was just retaliatory stuff, and they had a couple of honeydew girls involved with it too, that they had come get involved with it. Those two girls ended up. Oh good God! They got into my records. They contacted SFB. They were on call with Bill Olson. Bill Olson was helping them to try and implicate me, breaking orders and all this other stuff. And I finally gave him the big FU inside the room. You know, why are you cooperating with two women that aren't SF? Why are you giving them information about me from anything? You know, from within our supposed secret group team room. That was a real violation to me, and I called them out in public for it, out there on the page. And in retaliation, the admins decided to kick me out. Yeah, screw them. Gotta love our buddies sometimes, you know. But yeah, there was nothing to any of the charges. They were all dropped. That didn't stop them from telling my son that I committed suicide in jail and I'm dead, and therefore they put him on a protective order. They haven't let me see my son since. And they're not gonna let me see him until I plead guilty to the allegations.
Yeah.
How long has that been, Mitch?
2.5 years.
2.5.
Wow.
2.5 years.
Wow. How old is your son?
All right, I'm gonna address this up front. Somebody keeps saying this, and it's all over X. In your public post, you specifically say, "I was certain he was recording." If you were certain, why did you keep talking? Only you can answer that question. Why would I not talk?
Not only that, was he not recording from a state that's a two-party consent recording state? So you didn't consent regardless.
It requires explicit consent. All right. Me continuing to stay on the phone, and I was, more accurately to say, I suspected he was recording. My suspicions were correct. But for him to record that, this is the way the law is. All right. I don't care if you like it or not. For him to record that, he has to tell me, hey, I am recording this call. He needs explicit permission from me to say it's okay. And he didn't. He broke the law because he has no regard to the law. He sits there and asks me if I'm making sure I'm not recording, which that usually goes both ways. That's my also like, okay, I'm not going to record. He's not going to record. We're going to have an open and honest conversation. I don't care if he was recording. I did nothing wrong on this. I did what was supposed to be done. This is real investigative journalism. It's not sitting there waiting for somebody to bring you tips from your tip box or anything like that. This is what you do. You call people and verify or deny their story from their own lips, and you get information from them. That's how investigations are supposed to work. And yes, this phone call was illegal. Yes, I have pressed charges, and there's more to come. Trust me.
How old is your son?
He's 13.
13? Yeah, that's...
I'll give you all the records you reported. Yeah, I know it's unbelievable. It's a crazy story, isn't it? I know. I'm aware. I try to...
No, I mean, I knowing how women are and knowing how... No offense, Amy.
No, no, those kind of women are absolutely... They give women a bad name. Like, that's what makes me so mad. I'm like, how can you do this to another person? I mean, I went through a divorce, and I was like the complete opposite. I was... Like,
well, just the way they weaponize... The way they weaponize kids against you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so wrong. Yep.
And then how the justice system is set up in the against the father or the man involved is just again I went through a very not quite to that extent, but to where I was getting divorced, and then I was actually in the Q course when I was getting divorced, and then kind of the same thing. It was like they were calling my command saying I wasn't paying child support every day. I'd have to go in like once a week and show them documents. Look, I've paid every single. Matter of fact, I was paying more than was requested of me.
Wow.
Sure.
And then on top of that,
let me get my shot.
And then on top of that, when the divorce finalized, the courts. The judge said, hey, look, because he's in the military, and at the time I was deploying constantly to Iraq and Afghanistan. It's like, hey, we're not going to set up child visitation on a schedule. It's like when he has leave, you're going to give him the kids. And so when I would get back from deployment, And I'd actually, they lived in Texas at the time. So I'd fly to Texas to go to get, and then what she would do is she would hide the kids from me the entire time I was on leave. And I couldn't find the kids. She'd move them off to like, she'd move them around from, and I was traveling, like trying to go to like her family's houses, everywhere I knew, she'd shovel them around.
Right, and then you trying to do that, let me guess. If you did
she called the cops on me.
Yep.
Call the cops on you, say that you're stalking her and all this.
Even though that was the court order for you to see him on your leave.
Like it's a whole scheme.
See, that's it's
shocker. Hold on, let me get my shock face. Yeah.
No.
I haven't played that game at all. I haven't heard that one. Matter of fact, your story is very similar to I want to say it was Lieutenant Colonel or Colonel. Oh man, the name is just. I'm gonna have to go up to my computer. Wait, you mind staying?
I'm bad with names too.
How long do you want to stay on the phone here?
Yeah, I got time.
Let me just clarify for all of you internet sleuths out there. Is Mitch in Arizona? It's a one-party state. No, he was in Washington State, because in a minute we see his house. And I have talked to people that used to live in his house, and I verified, because that's what good investigative journalists do, that that was indeed his house in Washington State. So nice try. No.
And I just sent you my contact information via text with email on there and everything else.
Yeah, okay. No worries. We'll just stay in contact here. I'm just you caught us getting coffee and breakfast.
Here we go. This is his house. All right. I verified that this is indeed his house in Washington State.
Yeah,
By people that live there.
It does, yeah.
I've spent a lot of my last 25 years hiding in plain sight. So you, all right, explain that to me.
All right.
You're touching on something.
The call was never dropped. All right. Matter of fact, let's just show you guys this. I do have to get off here about 7:45 no matter what, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this of the actual call log that I have for this. All right. Pull up image file. We'll go to downloads here. Let me see. So this is one, it's 59 minutes. This is the second call. This is the second call. This was not the first call. You guys can see it was at 3:38 p.m. Trying to see what we got there. 3:38 p.m. and that was a 59-minute call. We'll remove that. I'll show you the other one. We have this one right here. All right, so this one right here is at 12:49. It was an hour and 26 minutes long. Let me just make sure I'm showing the right one. Yes. All right. So that was a total of 2 hours and 25 minutes of phone call. What is on this video is 1 hour and 55 minutes. So almost exactly 30 minutes of this video has been removed. So again, who's lying to you? It's not Gary. I wish I had recorded the phone call so I could know exactly what was edited out of there.
How do you know this? This frustrates me. It takes me getting to this level to finally get somebody who gets it. The government doesn't.
The government doesn't want to know that there are guys that were trained with U.S. tax dollars working for cartels. That is a shit optic story. That's
yeah.
why that's
okay.
Published in
This is the part. All right. This is where he had told me about the cartels and all this other stuff, and that he was being recruited by cartels and everything else. You can see that there is a clear cut there because he told me a wazoo story. That's the truth. And also, you know, the conversely, like that is true. There are guys that are former special operators that are down working for the cartels and training cartel members. That's also true.
Freaking New York Times. You know what I mean?
Exactly correct. Yeah. And it's also not a, it's not a pretty story. No. It's not one you take to the FBI and the FBI goes, oh my gosh, let's check it out. No, they say, oh, give us the names and everything else like you're doing to me right now. And then the next time they come into the room, they're acting like they're going to arrest you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, how dare you even mention this? Yeah. No, I've been through it. Yeah, a couple of times. A shit optic story. Yeah, shit optic. That's a good one. Good way to take it.
No, that's. I mean, we see that time and time again. There's a lot of, you know, look when it comes to. I really believe. I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with the assassination attempt on President Trump, right?
Yeah. Wait, what? When did that happen?
Assassination.
Seriously? They tried to, is that today? Oh my God. Fuck me.
Uh,
Yeah, no, yeah, of course. No. Yeah, no.
So we have Thomas Crooks
Yep.
that has allegedly zero digital footprint, or very minimal digital footprint. So we have, you know, this.
Is it
this,
possible? Sure. Plausible? Absolutely not. Yeah.
And what I believe is that he was targeted, profiled, and recruited, radicalized, and weaponized online. And I think they know that. And I think there's a couple of different options there.
You're starting to get into that tinfoil hat MK Ultra thing that they're talking about.
I'm 100% tinfoil hat on the MK Ultra, and I think you know, so it's not like MK Ultra stopped. They didn't stop trying to control people's minds.
Yeah, there was no break in the call.
Right?
Supposedly, yeah.
We've since perfected it, and I have a lot of good evidence with that.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that we don't know, the reason that the government hasn't shared that information with us is a couple of possible reasons. Number one, it was deep state brain to begin with, and you know, these people didn't like President Trump, so elements within our own intelligence community targeted him by through in the use of cover. You know, they're not going to say, "Oh, hey, you know, we're projects X wing out of the CIA." They're using, so either our own people did it, and or political actors did it, and or foreign adversaries did it. I think all of those are possible. All of those are possible. Even if they knew that for a fact, they're not going to share that information because they don't want the public to know how easy this is. So it doesn't benefit the government to even let them know that is possible. And I think we can.
Yeah. How do you? Yeah, why do you want to make your victims aware? I got it.
Yeah. Well, let's just say they're on the up and up. Let's say the FBI and other intelligence agencies are like, oh my God, this was done by a foreign actor or whatever else. It still doesn't. It's kind of like the UAP program, right? Like we, you know, speaking of tinfoil hats, and I'm very into the UAP program. I know it's real.
Let me clarify.
People have decided that it doesn't benefit.
There was 2 continuous phone calls. Great question. I didn't clarify that. There was 2 continuous phone calls. One, which we're still on, is the very first call. That was, again, it was an hour and 26 minutes long. One continuous phone call, no drops, no need to call, but there was no breaks in the conversation, nothing like that. The second call, which was, the first call was at 12:49. The second call, he called me back. All right, he called me at 3:38 p.m. It was 59 minutes long. 2 continuous phone calls. There was no breaks in between. We're only 33 minutes into this phone call. All right, there was no breaks in the call. But there's 30 minutes missing, almost exactly 30 minutes missing from the 2 calls. Good question. Glad to clarify.
The UAP, is that the that's drones, right?
UFOs.
Oh,
UFOs.
UAPs.
UFOs.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't benefit the U.S. citizenry to know about it.
Right.
So there's no upside for them to know about it. So they're not going to give any information on it. And I think it's the same thing. And I think when we look at some of these other school shootings where they just kind of swept this stuff under the rug. When we look at Stephen Paddock from Las Vegas, I think these were test runs. I think these were people being targeted and being radicalized and weaponized online.
Can I add one of those names to your list?
Sure.
You really should look into. Yeah, you should have already picked up on it. Travis Decker.
Oh yeah.
There should be a whole thing about who killed Travis Decker. That's right up here in Wenatchee. And if you're up here in Washington, I don't know if you're in the north. Where are you?
I'm actually in West Virginia now.
Oh, lucky you.
This is my phone number from when I was still at. I actually still had a house in Yom until I don't know, about 2 years ago.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, the West Virginia. That's pretty territory up there. Guys, all they tease you about the banjo playing.
So here's the truth of it. West Virginia was the only state of the union I ever declared I would never live in.
No.
In 2008 or so, we were down at Moyock, North Carolina, at Blackwater, doing a pre-deployment train up, and my team sergeant's brother came to visit. I was like, oh, hey, you know, where's he coming from?
Right.
He's like, he's coming from West Virginia. I was like, West Virginia? I would never fucking live in West Virginia. And then like 3 years later, I'm living in West Virginia. That's how that's the game Scott plays with you.
God's a funny guy, isn't he?
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, you seem like a decent guy.
Going back to
And folks, I'm trying to get through this. I got to plan on like 125. I might bump it up to 1.5 speed again. I want to make sure I get to all your questions, all the super chats. We will get there. I just want to get through this. And
going back to, like, this is another one of those third rail stories that even if the U.S. government knows about it, it doesn't benefit.
My whole life is third rail story. Pretty much. I think that's going to be the book. Thank you. I think that's going to be the book name.
Third rails. What's a third rail story? Never mind.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. No, I'd love to have you on. I thoroughly enjoyed talking to you. It puts my mind at ease.
All true.
No, every time
all that was true, folks. I actually enjoyed talking to this guy. I knew he was lying about some things right there, but again, I didn't know how horrific things were until later on. I talked to his multiple wives, all of his children that he's never paid child support, all of his children that claim they witnessed abuse, that they witnessed psychological abuse constantly, that he constantly lied, all of these things. I didn't know what the monster I was talking to. I knew he was lying about some things at that point already, but I did enjoy him. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to have him on and I'm going to let people just decide for themselves whether this guy's telling the truth or not. I'm hoping he'll relay, the story of falling 80 feet off of a cliff and then, just going mountain climbing for 3 weeks to recover, I guess. And then I wanted him to tell the story about him burning bales and bales of drugs as, private snuffy. That's what I wanted. People would see that he's lying about Fort Huachuca too.
Here, Special Forces get online. The first thing I'm doing is I'm looking at fire digits.
I just want to say all I'm seeing so far is that you're somebody who reached out to ask some questions, doing actual like investigative journalism, and you're being genuine and having a conversation with somebody that answered the phone the same way you would with anyone that you're talking to. What is the problem here? Why is anything about this a problem?
I can tell you what the problem is.
It's all a spin. Go ahead.
The problem is that you're not being completely bombastic. You didn't sneak and record him and upload it out there and drag him, but rather it's very clear here in what we've heard so far that you're trying to be a straight shooter, trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, trying to hear his story, give him a chance to talk. You let him talk. Lord knows he's been talking, but that's the problem, is that you did not do what other people would do, and you didn't behave the way that they would behave. Therefore, you are wrong. Therefore, you are bad, because you didn't drag him, because you didn't, bring all this other foolishness up, and you didn't expose him to the world when you could have or should have, because that's what they would have done.
Well, and the real problem here is that the truth goes against the narrative that they're trying to, the lies that they're trying to push. Yes. It completely challenges everything that they're saying and proves wrong everything that they're saying. That's the real sin I committed, is telling the truth against their lies.
Asking people, we know this guy, is he one of us? Yeah, I've done the whole Stolen Valor thing, Guardians of the Green Beret. I've given them people. Yep. I totally get it. I also, if you're going to talk to Nate, tell him no harm, no foul. I mean, my missus, on the other hand, she's a little bit pissed at the guy. I wouldn't have him turn his back on her just yet, but she'll get over it.
Nate's again, you know how our people are.
Yeah.
We're all going to be extremely skeptical until we're not. And quite frankly, that's a reasonable approach. We know the last thing that we want is people within our own regiment, or people with outside of our regiment.
And I'll tell you, within the regiment, I'm a third rail, because I am a third rail. I'll tell you what, there's guys there. I how you say it? Inconvenient truth bearer. I've just always been that way. I'm not going to lie for anybody.
Sure.
And that, unfortunately, there's a lot of guys, especially in the military, who are yes men. Yeah, I don't get it.
That.
Yeah, I ain't good with them.
I've always been a bit of a contrarian myself, so I can relate.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've done the whole flagpole compete for soldier of the quarter and stuff like that. All the shiny boots and whatnot. But I wasn't in it for the Scooby snacks. I wasn't there to pin stuff up. I was there because I wanted an actual mission, and that's one of the things I got disappointed with most.
Yeah. So allegedly, I don't know. She's been hinting that she's going to talk about how the exposure of Mitch has backfired somehow. And look, I have no doubt that she's going to cut clips, edit clips, try to make me look bad. I don't care. I don't care. Send everything that you got at me. The fact is, the truth is on our side. We're going to continue to expose these people. I don't care what you do to me. You're not stopping me, Candace. You're not going to stop me. All of you freaking people that are behind her, all of her downstreamers, like, keep saying, I don't care if half the United States, I don't care if 99% of the United States. The only people that I answer to is God and my family. So I don't care what you say about me. I really don't. I will lose everything just for the truth because it's worth it.
Agreed. And remember, the people that are meant to follow you and are meant to be here will be here. They will come. The people that are not meant to be here will not be here.
Exactly.
Something I got disappointed with more than anything, it was the importance of politics within group. It was the start of the PC era, yeah, I wasn't down with some of those. I had some problems. I had to call a guy out for being I don't want to offend you if you're gay or not, but back then you weren't supposed to be gay and be in service. But if that's your thing,
All right, Stormy and many of you other people, look, let me tell you something. I have people calling me a traitor. I have nothing but been dragged through the mud and my reputation smeared because I've been exposing the truth. So you know what? Go to your side of the argument. Go to the canyon. Go look at all the stuff that people are saying, memes they're making out of me, the AI things. I think it's hilarious. You know what? But the fact is, all they have done is insulted me. They have provided no facts. They have provided no actual argument. All they do is insult me and try to smear me when I'm showing you proof that this guy has lied time and time again and has zero credibility. So don't even come at me with that nonsense.
It doesn't sound like it, but it's 2025. You never know.
I got an ex-wife, a wife, and 4 kids.
Oh, half the gay guys in San Francisco have kids. That ain't no explanation.
That's true. That's fair enough.
Jesus. But no, I had to call a guy out. He was stalking me and others, and he was part of our class. His name was Jimmy Walker. You can go look him up. And back then, I got in trouble for wanting to just. I didn't want to be on the same team as him. Didn't want to be in the same group. Everybody kept asking me. Finally, they pressed it out of me. I had to tell the team. God, what was his name? Bruce Ring, big tough guy back then. Great team sergeant until this issue came up. And then, some guys are tough in front of bullets and jumping out of planes and stuff. And then they get in front of political issues like this and they're not, how do you say? They melt like little pansies, man. And if you are actually SF and, we'll check you out. I don't know. We'll see. That the guys, the team room atmosphere, I used to describe it as they were worse than a group of old hens, group of old ladies gossiping in church. Son of a bitch, man, these guys. So, oh yeah, this Jimmy Walker guy, his dad.
I said this the day after this video. It might have even been that night I did a live stream. I told everybody that I talked to Mitch. I've said it on multiple live streams. I spent 2.5 hours on the phone with him. This is no secret, folks.
And was part of the Clinton administration. And I had to call him out. I didn't want to. It was the whole don't ask, don't tell. But he made it pretty apparent. So rather than kill the guy and get in trouble for it, I tried to do the right thing and just asked to, change me to a different group. I'd like to, before this blows up into the next, gay beret incident or something, I'd like to go work somewhere else. And no, they blew it up like crazy. It went all the way to the freaking administration and back. And they took his side and they tried to claim, he wasn't gay. Lying sons of bitches.
What are we talking about?
Man, you fast forwarded to 2000. Jimmy Walker is in the gay parade in Seattle wearing his beret on the front freaking paper. Okay. And now he's writing books and going to colleges talking about how you guys all at First Group gave him PTSD and treated him so badly for being gay. And, I can't win for losing. This guy's making money off this stupid shit. But yeah. Yeah, third rail. Yeah, I might just adopt that name. I don't know.
That's hilarious. Well, yeah, man. Now listen, it was really great talking to you. Like I said, what I will be is I will be your biggest advocate, and if
only if I check out. You vet the shit out of me. I dare you.
That's what I was getting ready to say. You check out. I'll be your biggest advocate, and either way, I'd love to have you on. I'll tell Nate I talked to you. And
yeah, you can tell him I called him a big faggot with those jazz hands he's swinging around all the time.
Just like this. He does like to.
You tell him I know that his sergeant major was Richard Simmons. Just by looking and about how he talks about big guys all the time, and he's dissing on short guys. Yeah. And then he's hanging around with his prison sex partners, JD DeLay. Yeah. All right. A little bit suspect. And it makes more sense that he's from first group. You tell him I said that. Behind
What's
camera.
he talking about?
All right. No, it's really been.
He's talking about Nate from Valhalla.
Good
Oh,
talking to me. Thank you for reaching out. Honestly.
Yeah, man. No, that's what I thought was the right thing to do, to reach out to you directly and not,
And I can go ahead and name drop a bunch of people. Me and Nate Chapman, for instance, we were good buddies. We graduated Robin Sage together. We went through the, what do you call it, the commemoration dinner, the SF dinner and stuff together. But first group, the wonderful people that they didn't even send a rep for us. So it was me, Nate, and Tom West, who sat there drinking the champagne. So because there was only 3 of us, we had a whole bunch of extra champagne that all the other guys wanted. So it started a little bit of a war during the dinner. But yeah, no, I can name drop all day long. I know the people, places, things.
Awesome. But like I said, if you want to send me your DD-214, I'll check that out. I'll like I said, I'm here to be your biggest advocate.
Do you want my social security number on there? Can I trust you with that, or are you going to redact it?
I'm not going to show even your DD-214. I think probably I have your social on this thing. Again,
You got my social on it? I mean, they got my social on that thing.
Hold on, the audio's still going. There we go.
So you were in during all the business. You signed up afterward. After 9/11?
9/11 happened. 9/11 happened a couple days. I was in the recruit station. I was with the 101st with the initial push to Iraq. I was a sniper team leader during that time. I came back.
Oh, did you know Tung Nguyen?
Tung Nguyen?
Mhm.
No, that name doesn't sound familiar. But dude, I'm fucking terrible with names.
Oh, you would know this guy. This guy was he was like autistic Vietnamese dude. He had an incredible history. He died. Friendly fire is what it sounds like. Friendly mortar fire. Just a bad incident. The guy was, when it came to guns, the guy was a nutcase. I can tell you a whole story about it. But no, Tung Nguyen was a good friend of mine. He was sniper team also during that time. Just up, I think it was 2002, 2004. That was a real loss too.
Yeah, I was with the 27th Infantry at the time, and then when I came back from the initial deployment to Iraq, went to selection and went SF and was in the Q course from 2005 to 2006, and then went to first group, and then went on 3 more combat deployments and multiple training tours, Philippines, Asia, all the things. And
I don't know how the strip clubs were. I can tell you a whole thing about the first Gulf War, in training there, and they were asking for people to go and come back. And if you were at Fort Bragg while they were deployed, they always said that there were no women available at Fort Bragg before I went, because it's like 8 guys to every woman there.
Something like that.
Yeah, there was a little bit of competition, and Rick's, I think it was Rick's, right? The strip club there. It was like a strip club right there on the main drag or something. I think it was Rick's. Anyway, they had every place at Fayetteville was a strip club. Like even you go out to breakfast and it was topless. Yeah, you couldn't go out to breakfast with your family without it being a topless joint. So what an incredible time that was before 9/11, way back when. But yeah,
while I was there at the time, I started dating a woman that's now my wife. I actually I still have a condo off of Riley Road that is a rental property.
Oh wow, that's fun, Riley Road.
Yeah. I don't know when the last time you've been back to Bragg, but man, that place has changed.
It's been a while. I've heard it's become a city.
They are. Anyone that's at 7K or I've sold out or TPUSA has directed me, auto ban.
Yeah, my son was actually born in Madigan.
Oh, really?
None of it's true.
Yeah, the point being, there were guys that hadn't come back from the 82nd. The main body hadn't come back yet. And if you went out to the bars then at that time, it was packed with women. When I say packed, I mean like sardine can packed. And if you were a guy that was in pretty good shape there, you had girls coming up to you buying you drinks and saying, "Hey, can I take you home?" Now, as a young guy, again, I'm young, I'm an idiot. Okay, I'm thinking, wow, I don't know what they were talking about. There's a lot of women around this place. Boy, and they seem to be pretty well off and not too needy. They got their own homes and cars and everything. Huh?
We got plenty of allies.
But
that's a nice thing.
I was literally in a bar when
not just me.
And had a disco light, a little band playing on the race stand there. It was packed, and all of a sudden they stopped the music. This is not a drill. This is not a drill. 82nd Airborne, confirmed. Touchdown on the tarmac. Ladies and gentlemen, especially you ladies, you've got people you're expecting to come home. They're on the ground right now.
What is
The
wrong
whoosh
with this
that left
guy?
that
This
place
is
was me
not
and Forrest
normal.
Burning McGordy.
Nothing normal.
Very odd story.
I mean, what is happening right now?
I'm going to go on a limb. I bet you this guy has some crazy ADHD. Because, I mean, he is like,
At the very least,
he is on all cylinders.
Left
And he
side.
just hasn't stopped.
And
Because you've already said, like, it's good talking to you. He
Yeah.
kind of like signed off like 5-10 minutes ago.
He likes to
And
talk.
he just talks.
Before there's little chewing gum wrappers spinning around on the floor, and oh yeah, it just became empty. And then from then on, you know, they were empty from then on too. You know, of course, that started the whole epidemic of guys coming home to shoot. You know, we had one guy at training group there. He came.
Yeah, and on top of that, I don't know if he cut it out or if it comes later. All right. At one point, I tell him, look, I will be your biggest advocate, but if I find out that you're lying, all right, I will hold you to task. I don't remember what I said exactly. I will call you out. All right. And I found out that he was lying, and I found out a whole lot of other things that is relevant to. I don't care about the fact. I mean, again, I do. All right. Yeah, he's abusive. He's a liar. But the point is that his credibility is gone because he lies to everybody so much. It's not, he lies even when he doesn't need to. I found multiple different documents where he has said that he's an 18 Delta, a medic, as opposed to an 18 Charlie. All right. That is what he has said, and many times. So this guy can't help himself but lie.
I want to say it wasn't Rambo. Oh God, was it Rambo or something like that? He came home literally to find his team captain going at it with his wife inside of his bedroom. And yeah, he went ahead and ventilated that guy's asshole a little bit with a little bit of gunfire as he jumped out the window. I don't think he got in trouble for it though. I think the captain got kicked out. I think he had to do a little bit of time in the mental ward and got a divorce. Out back when they treated us decent, I guess. But yeah, SF, what do you do?
What do you do? Well, listen, Mitch, man, that was a real pleasure to talk to you. Like I said,
yeah, you got another story we can't tell online, otherwise you're gonna get yourself canceled. Sorry.
Well, I do care.
Get yourself.
I care the fact that I've been told that I'm a liar, that I'm a Fed, that I've been directed by TPUSA, that I am, you know, a traitor to my country. I have been defamed by some of the largest platforms on the face of the planet. Yeah, you better believe lawsuits are coming, without a doubt. Charges are coming for this. This is illegal. All right. He shared this content. And then what they did is they took that content that was illegal to begin with. They manipulated it, edited it to make me look bad, which doesn't. But yeah, I'm going to hold them accountable. They broke the law. I thought this was what this was all about, like holding people accountable. They broke the law. No, yeah, I know.
And remember, everyone listening and whoever clips this and whatever happens, always remember, doxing is a crime. And was there not doxing that also took place in here? Just
he doxed me.
Curious.
Yep.
What were they called? Demonetized?
But it's okay.
Gary, no, it's been good talking to you too. Thank you for reaching out. You tell Nate. Yeah, I'm gonna give him a little bit of a harassment, but no, I would be proud to speak with him or anybody else. We got to let Candace do her thing though first. There's important stuff coming out. You do understand the implications, right?
Oh, I understand the implications. It's quite big.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know what else to say. It was just yeah, wrong place, wrong time. Or right place, right time.
Yeah, how you look at it.
And you know, you and I, we can look around the room and know which veterans have a little bit different sheen, even if they're in civilian clothing. These people stuck out. You know, that woman had my ex-wife's eyes. You know, they're really creepy. So I didn't mean for this. I meant for this just to be a tip. Hey, you might want to check it out and see where these people were the day before, because I think they were there. And I had no idea Miss Candace Owens was going to go ahead and blurt out my whole life story that I tried to get to her in about the same amount of times I've been talking to you. And yeah, I mean, so far there's no it's been real quiet, so we're happy for that, I guess. Yeah, hasn't got me a cup of coffee yet. Yeah.
Well, like I said, man, you know, you're right. What matters is the truth, and if
I could be mistaken.
Everything that we think is true with this, like, it has to get out, and you know, that's what it comes down to, and that's what I've been in for this to begin with. I want to know what really happened. And, you know, at the end of the day, that's all that matters, man. the American people.
You start finding that I'm not credible, it's because you ain't asked for the documentation. I'll back it up. And if I could have been wearing a camera on my eyes at that point, I would love to. I need to invest in that kind of stuff. Where's Elon Musk when you need it? Anyway,
I need to get you some better glasses.
seriously, I've already got a pair, but they only work with freaking Facebook, and I hate that shit.
Yeah,
So,
they're kind of weird.
Gary, get out of
Listen,
here. Man. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate
Okay,
you,
that's steps
and
into
appreciate you spending the time with me. And like I said, I'll be your biggest advocate. 100%.
I'll shoot you off documents. How many documents you want? What do you want?
Your DD-214. If you want to throw anything else in there, you're welcome to, and for additional bona fides.
Sure.
Whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm not going to dox you no matter what. If I'm like, hey, this guy's a complete liar, I'm not going to put your information out there. I'm not.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, I've already had my stuff like it's been. My house been ransacked, my stuff been stolen, and the one thing that they were after is the one folder I have. The only reason they
even right there, I said, look, even if I say that this guy's a complete liar, he knows what's up.
Very, not very loving looking book.
I don't even want to change it for you because I don't want, like, because we know.
Yeah, but I got the microfiches and everything. We just don't have anybody that has microfiche anymore.
Yeah. No, like I said, man, all I want to do is confirm or deny the truth. And that's it.
Okay.
And I'm not.
No, I think you'll find them pretty damn credible. Yeah. And if there's something in between, you guys want to question? All right, you go ahead, question.
Yeah.
I can't help what I saw.
Right. Yeah. I appreciate you being so forthcoming, and yeah, man, that was great talking to you. It really was.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, it was good talking to you, Greg. All right, you have a good one.
All right, Mitch. You too, buddy.
All right. Bye.
Gary didn't call back. He called me back.
What was the timestamp? What was the timestamp where it goes to a new one?
I don't even know where that ring came from. Hold on, let me just make sure that's accurate. If I remembered wrong. I'm sorry. What'd you say about
Okay,
the
well, when it cuts off, like when the video cuts off, what is the exact time that the video is on? Because you have your call time for the first call.
I'm not going to put your information out there. I'm not.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, I've already had my stuff like it's been. My house been ransacked, my stuff been stolen, and the one thing that they were after is the one folder I have. The only reason they didn't take that is because.
Let me see. Okay, so at 55 minutes. That first call was an hour and 26 minutes. So that's where
no. Wow.
So that's where the 30 minutes went.
Hey.
Hey, I was I'm on the phone call. You were texting me, but I figured I'd just call you.
I guess I did call him back. I swear he called me.
Candace. And I mean, so with Candace, where it really started was when this whole thing with Charlie happened. We were flooded with everything from the palm gun to camera gun to I don't know how much you keep up with that. You see all that stuff.
Yeah, some of that stuff. I think the latest theory is something about
I did call him.
Aaron Coleman.
Now going call.
Yeah, something about the fragments and I don't know. I don't have any opinion on that stuff really. I mean, I could. What was your MOS, by the way?
Thank you, brother.
Oh, you're a bravo guy. You went easy route. What happened? You seem more intelligent than that, man.
I just like guns, dude.
You just like guns, really? You're the gun guy? Okay. All right. No, Tongue Nguyen, he was a gun guy too. That guy was a nutcase with those things. His barracks room, the guy was he was shooting inside the team rooms to test out his silencers.
Suppressed, yeah.
Yeah. He was doing it inside. He'd sneak around and he'd pull me in. Hey, check this out. And he'd pull me inside and I could smell the gunpowder. I'm like, what are you doing, buddy? Toop. He's hitting sandbags on the wall as his team was out doing something. I don't know. Anyway.
So, and again, just to be completely transparent with you.
Yeah, you're I can see you're coming at it. I'm looking you up now. So I see where you're coming from.
Here's my whole stance on this. This is I just want you to know this. So again, when Charlie Kirk was first killed, number one, I was a huge fan of Charlie Kirk. All this, I've had a podcast talking about conservative politics for a really long time. And then Charlie Kirk was killed, and suddenly we're flooded with all of this craziness. We're the palm guns. We didn't even have a quote unquote official narrative at the time. You know what I mean? This is before charging documents came out. All the things that we have now.
Yeah.
And so the only thing that I did originally was like, okay, look, guys, this wasn't a palm gun, and here's why. This wasn't a camera gun, and here's why. There wasn't an iPhone gun. It wasn't drones flying around shooting people. And immediately, I was like, these were clearly bot attacks, by the way. So these people were saying, oh, this is before that. Again, there was no FBI narrative at the time. This is like the 1 week into this.
Oh yeah,
and suddenly it's like you're a Zionist. You're paid by Israel. You're a Fed.
All this is true.
All of this fucking craziness. And then people started coming out with these other.
Well, I think actually, if you step back there was a little something that went on there just before that too. I think it was
not Tucker Carlson, Lindsey Graham, and that other television host, I forget his name, where they did this very
Lindsey Graham
non-organic force thing where they were holding up signs and saying Tucker Carlson isn't MAGA. I don't know if you remember that, but that about the same time frame. I remember seeing that stuff. I understand that you're getting at the fracturing of stuff, and I understand. Go ahead.
And my point is one is the truth, and here's what I see as an underlying thing that's going on, in my opinion, based on what I've seen, is Candace has bad blood with TPUSA. I think that's a fair assessment.
I guess about the understatement of the century, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. And when she jumps in here and starts saying, "Oh, because Mikey McCoy and some of these other people," she like Candace immediately wrote off the idea that there was like Tyler Robinson was the shooter, all the other things. And she was jumping from narrative to narrative to narrative.
All true.
And all of those came back to three things that Candace always disliked. And that was
Not them
TPUSA,
recording
Israel,
Candace
and
Owens.
French.
Oh no.
Again, I don't know how much.
What is that on the
read up
screen?
That was my
Paramount.
That was
Paramount.
your account?
Yeah.
on all this stuff.
Oh.
Pay attention to the previous.
Yeah, some of it because I mean I am familiar a little bit with I mean I didn't join the French Foreign Legion. I considered it.
So did I actually at one point.
Yeah, so I do know
He was instructed to change the way
so
he
one
was
of our trainers
recording.
from the 300 F1 course
Maybe.
was
No.
Master Chief Jones, and he is actually one of the people mentioned in the book.
Exactly.
What is it? Mouthful of Rocks. It's a legendary book about French Foreign Legion. And that guy had an incredible story. He really crazy, and he would tell us about it. I know a little bit about it. I think some.
Can I ask you a
I
question?
really don't have a
Sure.
whole lot of opinion.
What was the name of that author? Did he say?
Oh, I don't know. You want me to go back?
Okay, 'cause it's okay because I don't want to take. I know you have somewhere to be.
Yeah.
But
I don't know how much
I just
you read up on all this stuff or you paid attention to the previous.
Yeah, some of it because I mean I am familiar a little bit with I mean I didn't join the French Foreign Legion. I considered it.
So did I actually at one point.
Yeah, so I do know. So one of our trainers from the 300 F1 course was Master Chief Jones, and he is actually one of the people mentioned in the book. Was it Mouthful of Rocks? It's
mentioned in the
about
book.
the French
Sorry,
Foreign Legion.
I thought he
and
said
that
was the
guy had an
author of the
incredible
book.
story. He really crazy, and he would tell us about it. I know a little bit about it. I think some. I really don't have a whole lot of opinions about a lot of stuff. I mean, I know possibilities. I think all possibilities should be considered. Until
I 100% agree with you, and that's I'm 100% in agreement with you. My concern is that Candace Owens, Candace has been exploited by political and or foreign adversaries. Is one of the things that it's hard to get away from, regardless of what you feel about the Trump administration or whatever else. Is that
big supporter of them, by the way? I'm one of the first supporters.
Awesome.
I've supported. As a matter of fact, I went to war with most of the guys in the SF Brotherhood on the Facebook page there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the reason that they said you can't talk politics in there anymore.
This guy's so
they
hard
got
to
their
talk
asses handed to them
too, because he
I was-
just cuts in
me
with authority
and
every
Landon
time.
Valentine, the guy I mentioned before, were the first to speak up in that room and to be Trump supporters, and that was back in 2012, something like that.
Sure.
Yeah, way back when.
So my point is I feel like Candace is being exploited, and I feel like part of this is a personal vendetta for Candace. And by the way, I loved Candace.
Yeah.
And then the other problem that I have with what she has done is she has accused a lot of people without evidence. And I also feel like what it's doing is it's distracting us away from what's really taking place. And I think there's something larger at play here. I think to me it's pretty obvious. Between the bot attacks, things that are being promoted within the internet.
Sorry,
And
I'm actually clicking on your video in the background.
nice,
Sorry.
nice.
Go ahead.
And I've also, Candace has definitely omitted a lot of information. Like, for instance, if you're watching my video where I said Candace is lying, she intentionally says that, you have to scale the roof like Spider-Man. That's not true.
She's never shown how to get up onto that roof. And I think if you saw, I don't know, again, like if you see how this whole thing with Tyler Robinson is plausible because it was fairly simple. With that being said, when you're saying that the French Foreign Legion, Israel, and the United States are all getting together to kill Charlie Kirk, it starts becoming a lot less plausible.
Right.
And maybe, and I'm open to it. Look, I think our government is corrupt. I think, but at the end of the day, what I want is the truth. And I went to UVU to see what was going on there. I did a 3D model. I had actually paid for a survey and drone to actually model the place, and I paid for the model itself so that people can, and I gave that away for free. So that people can go on there, take a look at this, and they can play shooters in different spots and figure out what's possible, what's true, what's not.
Oh, you were going to set up a 3D model to try to reenact the scene and CSI it from, I get you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I did.
Okay.
And I gave that. So here's what happened. I spent thousands of bucks traveling there. I spent thousands of dollars, my own money, with a 3D model surveyor with a drone to map that place. And then when I got back, I spent a bunch of money in addition to another guy named CJ Correnti. He had a model. What we didn't have was where the Charlie setup, right? So we didn't have 10, we didn't have Charlie, we didn't have everything from that day from the scan. And he spent tens of thousands.
Mitch ran circles around me.
Charlie in the right spot.
That
model is plus or minus like 1 inch. That's how to scale and accurate it is. So what that allowed, and then I gave that away. I just made it public. People can download it. There's 2 different versions of it. There's a Blender version, which is 3D modeling software. And what that allowed us to do was, just like you said, you can, okay, there was a guy saying, oh, there was a shooter over in this position. Well, just looking at it from Google Earth and imagery, I'm like, man, there's not a line of sight from that position. I just know it, but I can't prove it. So what we did was we got the model, and then people can put shooters in that position. You can see from that position whether or not what is real and what is not. At the end of the day, I want the truth. That's what I want, and I think that's really important. And I think there's some things that are happening that I think there's a lot of psychological operations taking place right now. I think some of those are political. Some of those are possibly being perpetrated by foreign adversaries because they don't want the Trump administration. And what this has done is it's put a lot of doubt on the current Trump administration. And I do think that some of the things that are being said and being done are going to greatly affect the midterms, going to greatly affect 2028. And I think you and I can agree the last thing that we want is, I'm okay holding the government accountable. I want to hold the government accountable no matter what. I
get where you're coming from. And
if they were involved in this, I'll be the first one to say, let's fry these guys.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't want to be tricked by social media personalities because they're pushing something because of a vendetta. And I don't want to be tricked by political forces, and I don't want to be tricked by foreign adversaries that are trying to make it to where we have a weaker United States.
I did say that, and I realized I misremembered.
That's my motivation, man.
I mean, I don't know. I put it up on the screen.
Gary, no, I hear you. You sound like.
And again, I'm looking at the call. It was me that called him back. I forgot.
Sort of let me out.
My bad.
You come on your show or something. I get that. And you've already had questions. Anytime somebody says SF on the air, every one of us gets in our gruff and starts hunting down every single teammate he's ever had. I get it. When it comes to these politics, just like you said, on one hand, I hear what you're saying. There's Candace Owens, and she's got her angle with things. She's got her stuff, and she's claiming conspiracies and foreign involvement and stuff like that. And then on the same hand, you're over here and you're claiming, that she's probably under influence of foreign governments and conspiracies and everything else. And I see you both here. I hope you understand. It's not a
and that's what I want you to understand. Yeah. And at the end of the day, like the truth is what's important. And
you know what I say? I got no fucks to give. I have been a Trump supporter like crazy, and the main reason is because the guy couldn't be a sellout. He couldn't be bought. And the only time that ever fractured for me had nothing to do with any of this stuff. None of this stuff has actually even fractured that for me. I know how government is and its layers and how many times a boss is not responsible for their stupid private stuff. The only time that's fractured for me was when after 8-10 years of him saying bring on the Epstein list, and he just comes out of the blue and says,
there it is.
Are you still talking about
How
Epstein?
did I know that was coming? He just told you exactly who he is.
When somebody takes a 180-degree turn,
tell me what you mean.
Down, and then they dish out. What did they dish out yesterday? Was it yesterday or the day before? They finally gave out the Epstein list. Yeah. What was on that list? 88 pages of black markers. So you're telling me that Dan Bongino at the FBI was sitting there for the last 6 months with a black marker going over 88 pages to make sure he got every little piece of white out on there? Is that what's been happening? Something tells me there's a list. I think somebody's lying to us there.
But there's no doubt. And the other thing too is, look, we had that whole narrative is complicated to say the least. I'm with you on that. Like, we got to get to the bottom of that. We got to get to the bottom of it. And this is
So I started out this channel as like just a gun channel, right? All we did, I own a company. We teach firearms. We teach, we train people in basic through advanced pistol, rifle, long range. We kind of specialize in long range. That's kind of what we're known for.
10 years ago, I probably could have taught your class, and yeah, I'm down with you. I know exactly what you probably do, and I think you probably do it better than anybody else in the world too. You and
well, and I got a great cadre of instructors. It's not just me.
Yeah, we both know that.
And then on top of that, I started this YouTube channel during COVID, and then of course I covered firearms and stuff like that. But again, I'm also in politics, and what I mean by that is like I think it's important to preserve and protect the Constitution, to push the things that I believe, right? I mean, that's what it comes down to. That's what you and I fought for this country for. That's what we signed up for. We swore an oath. That oath didn't go away, and I still feel that way. And I see that this country is being torn away and being eroded by what I see as a real problem with leftist politics, whether we're talking about trans ideology, whether we're talking about the attack on the Second Amendment, the attack on the First Amendment, and then we have a media that lies and pushes things.
You're gonna have to forgive me if you hear a scream in the background. It's not some little kid. Don't call the police. That's my blue and gold macaw, and he's quite the character too. He saved my life. Go ahead.
That's long story short. That's where I'm coming from, man. And what I am is 100%. I believe in integrity. I believe in telling the truth. I believe in making sure that the truth is known, and that's what I want to get down to.
So let me ask you this then. Since you're doing this, you're into it probably way more than I am. I know everybody is sitting on the sidelines here. Any SF guy who shot a gun, and God knows, we had to do calls on that, all of it, right? Mm-hmm. Every single year. Yeah, we go out to the range and we have to burn down the ranges with phosphorus rounds damn near every year. Look, we all know something seems wrong with the 30-06 thing. What do you think?
What I think is kind of what I've said from the beginning is that the problem is we don't know. The problem is we don't everything that we would need to know about the ammunition and about the rifle that would help us to determine a terminal ballistic outcome. We don't know. We don't know the grain of that bullet. We don't know the type of ammunition. We don't know whether it was hand loads or factory. We don't know if the type of the projectile, was it full metal jacket? Was it soft point? Was it ballistic tip? Was it frangible? We don't know any of those things.
Yeah, it could have been a blank round at close range. We don't know. I get it.
100%. So like, I'm a little, what I do know, and even going into this, like obviously I've shot a 30-06 like 5 or 6 times. It's not like it's a fairly antiquated round. It's nothing that we use.
I grew up with them. Sorry, I grew up. My dad used to take us deer hunting all the time. Yeah. So I grew up with them. They're a cannon. Yeah.
But the reality is like with the 30-06, there's everything from like 55 grain old accelerator rounds all the way up to 220 grain, and with a lot of different other options in between. And originally going into this, I had the same opinion there. Like, there's no fucking way that this guy was hitting the neck with a 30-06. Mm-hmm. And with that being said, I teach long range for a living, and I also know that weird shit happens with ammo. Like we just had some 6mm Creedmoor ammo that we were out shooting on the range just a few months ago, and about every 5th round would exit the barrel, and the round would disintegrate.
That's
so we don't know that, and that's another thing too. Is like we don't know how old that ammo was. We don't know if there was something.
The round. Are you telling me that a round from a 30-06 disintegrated leaving the barrel?
This wasn't a 30-06 round. No, this wasn't a 30-06 round. This was a like long range precision rifle and 6mm Creedmoor is what the round was.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
I've seen the same thing happen with 6.5 Creedmoor, and it's Hornady ELDM. So my point is when it comes to the variables that we're dealing with ballistics, there is typical and there's atypical results. And without a doubt, what we see with Charlie Kirk is an atypical result. Now, there's 1,000 explanations that I can come up with off the top of my head that would explain that. It could be a round that wasn't stabilized, so it started to yaw and even started to tumble when it hit it, which that makes a little bit of sense to me because we have an atypical entrance wound. That entrance wound was larger than normal. And what I can say with certainty is if we
I agree, everybody thinks that looks more like an exit wound. Yeah.
An exit wound. And what I can say with certainty is that if that round, even if it was 30-06, even if it was 220 grain, and even if it was going at 2,000 feet per second, if that round, that projectile was in an extreme yaw, so it didn't hit the skin tip first, and it was already 3/4 of the way sideways or even sideways when it hit.
Yeah.
The chances of it, and especially once it hit,
the problem with that, right?
Go ahead. Tell me.
Well, 30-06 so our military rounds, they're made to tumble. 30-06s aren't.
He's not listening.
You're right, but they're not made to tumble in the air. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If we had a round that wasn't stabilized, there could be something wrong with that. The
round, something was off.
There's a thousand plausible explanations as to why. And here's the other thing too. One thing that I was not aware of before this incident, and I've studied in depth on this, was Martin Luther King. what happened with Martin Luther King is extremely similar, unbelievably similar to what happened to Charlie Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Luther King was shot from 65 yards away with a 30-06 round. It hit him in his face. It glanced off his jaw and then went into his neck and then hit his spine and then went downward. Now, there's a lot of controversy around Martin Luther King, right? Whether or not it was James Earl Ray that shot him, whether or not the CIA was involved, all of those things. But one thing that was never really contested during that time was whether or not it was a 30-06. So we have Martin Luther King shot from half the distance that Charlie Kirk was. It hit his spine, and this is important. This is one of the things that is interesting to me.
Right.
Hit his spine and didn't exit, just like with Charlie Kirk. And so much so that Martin Luther King ended up having an open casket funeral. Then on top of that, then we have another case study, which Nate just had on his show, a guy named Chuck Ritter. Chuck Ritter, Green Beret, this is a crazy story. Chuck Ritter was shot 4 times with 7.62 by 54. And 7.62 by 54 is literally always kind of been known as the Russian version of 30-06.
Okay,
Ballistically, they are identical. Now, what's interesting about this is that Chuck was actually hit in the back through the rib cage, almost from the side, kind of, let's say, off to his 4 o'clock. It entered his back, hit his spine, went downward. And not only did he live, he had no exit wound, but he lived. He was shot 2 more times in that incident. So he was shot 3 times with 7.62 by 54. And the tough son of a bitch kept fighting, and it ended up killing the guy that shot him.
I think both of you have to admit that there's a long list of Green Beret Medal of Honor winners that you take a look at Benavidez. I don't know if you ever got to meet him. I did. I know his daughter, a wonderful lady. It's really sad what they did to Benavidez' wife. Holy damn. But I'll tell you, the guy was riddled like Swiss cheese. How does he live through that? What is it? You talk about is there evidence of magic bullets? Yeah, at times. I think maybe. I think you're right.
And when it comes to that, like, here's the thing, is if the point is that people are trying to fill an unknown. Number one, we have a lot of people that don't, like, when I hear somebody kind of speak from authority and say, oh, well, I've been hunting my whole life and, 30-06, I blow a 3.5. Okay.
Yeah, they could. Depending.
You're absolutely right.
Could. Yeah, I get it. And also could just stop inside of within 1 inch of a tree too. I've seen that happen. Yeah. Depends on the tree. It depends on
I have all kinds of hunters.
Weather, rain, all sorts of stuff. Yep.
The point here is that people that really know ballistics understand that there's 1,000 variables that can determine an outcome, right? And I have hundreds of hunters that have sent me pictures of. I just got one the other day. The guy shot a deer in the shoulder with 30-06. He says 35 yards away, and it lodged into the outer shoulder bone and penetrate. And then he ended up having to put another round on the deer with 30-06.
Yeah, finished off. Yeah.
So the point here is that well, here's the real issue. We have Tyler Robinson. We have his DNA on the firearm. We have DNA on the trigger. We have DNA on the spent cartridge. We have his DNA on the towel that he used. We have surveillance footage of him getting up to that position. We have surveillance footage of him moving out to the position as described by the charging documents. Then we have text messages, which are definitely weird. We also have him admitting to his parents that he was the shooter, and then his parents turned him in. To me, that's probably one of the biggest.
Well, I think the last part there. I mean, that last part actually, if I've been paying attention, right? Good. And trust me, I'm trying not to. I have one of these things called a life. All of this is quite a big distraction because I was trying to do something, get attention for something completely different to save the lives of guys like you and our other brothers and stuff, and to maybe get them their children back if possible. This is a big inconvenience to me, to be honest with you. So this is taking all the air out of the room. That being said, the last part there, having been familiar with, unfortunately, police work, unfortunately, federal agents lately, and I can tell you, I've been heartbrokenly disappointed in the diligence of agents from city police, county sheriffs, FBI. We have gone from here to Washington, D.C. to Florida, and then down to Huachuca and back. The ability for them to sit at a computer and want to just narrate stuff is incredible, and not get up off of their ass and go do stuff and, I don't know, maybe investigate facts. If you're, like, I don't want to convince you one way or another. I've witnessed this with my own eyes. Just as
I 100% agree with you. Like, on that, like, they can create any narrative they want. We agree on
a lot of times they create narrative so that they don't have to get up out of the damn chair.
And That's why, to me, the most compelling portion of this that makes it more likely that Tyler Robinson is indeed guilty is that his parents turned him in.
That's actually been debated. They don't have that evidence. I don't know if you've caught that or not.
I know it's been debated.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's because here's the thing. Let's say that your son was being put up on death penalty charges, right? And then they release a document saying that you turned them in, and basically part of your testimony as a father is the reason that they're charging them.
Yeah.
Would there be anything that would stop you from getting in front of a camera and saying these people are trying to railroad my son to a death
There you go.
case?
And I'm here to tell you, you are barking up the wrong tree. I actually have a real case example of that, and it concerns one of our brothers from way back when. I have, as a matter of fact, it was while I was at Fort Bragg, and yes, I watched him get accused of. So we're going to divert so that you understand where I'm coming from on this for a little bit here. He was he had picked up a girlfriend in Texas when we were there at 300 F1. I got recycled into the. They didn't want to lose me. The cadre actually stuck up for me. It was really sort of sweet what they did, I guess. So when I broke my back and stuff, they gave me time off. They couldn't get me back in the medic. They recycled me into the Charlie. I go to Charlie. My buddy, he goes. He continues on. I think he was the class valedictorian at that point. Going to go lab. So he's going through. You know how stressful that is, right? But that's like the most stressful part of the medics program. They're losing their minds. But he got this girlfriend, brought her along. They're in Fayetteville. She ends up bringing her 3 daughters from a previous marriage. These 2 weren't married yet either. Just all of a sudden, they're in a 1-bedroom apartment. Now they've got 3 girls with them. And one of them comes back while I'm over there visiting with my buddy Joe Ross or something. He was going through the course with us too. The 3 of us knew each other. Went over to Doug's place, and little girls, they come in after school. Terry brings them in, and I happen to notice, being that, I've been through the medic course, I'm EMT qualified, all that kind of stuff. Me and Doug were in the course together, and I see this little girl, and she's got one pupil blown out bigger than the other. Now, you've done your cross training, right? Okay, what does one pupil bigger than the other indicate to you?
Brain damage.
Yeah, there's something going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I looked at that too, and I was like, whoa. Plus, I also happened to go out at night. Back then, there was what was that stuff that they were using? Some people going out to clubs and whatnot, they were doing those drugs that would make your pupils get all big and stuff. They were a little bit crazy.
Ecstasy.
Yeah, something like that, where it's something you noticed back in that time. And this little girl, she's got one pupil bigger than the other. I bring it up to Doug, and of course, they don't have the money to run off to the hospital with her, and I think he made a big mistake. And he tried to play it off that, no, it's common in 7% of the population, he says. I'm like, oh, Doug, I don't know. I don't ever remember seeing that, whether I probably would have noticed something like that. We leave, and a couple days later, Doug and Terry and the girls are gone. Me and Joe, we can't get a hold of them. And finally, we get contacted by police and whatnot. And we have to find out this backstory from them. But apparently in the middle of the night, she ends up on the floor, sweating. He tries to do, so what does an SF medic try to do when he sees something, girl sweating, she's got a fever, it's called the ambulance, I'm going to go try to manage, right? And he puts her into the tub, I think, to try and cool her down. Instantly, she goes into you might know this term, the flying bag position, is what I remember they used to dub it. I can't remember. It's when there's brain damage and all the extensors
is closeted.
Yeah.
He has
So
some
apparently she
serious
goes into
issues.
that.
What's that?
I said, I think allegedly, in my opinion, this dude's closeted. He has some major issues. The number of times that he's talked about buttholes and gay people is crazy.
It's insane.
Oh, this is bigger than that. They have to run. They have to
Go
get
ahead,
far.
Jay.
Yeah, this is this is what are we talking about? And I think it's interesting because, Gary, you asked him a very specific question. If your son was being accused of something and your testimony was what was the straw that broke the camel's back, what would you do? I have no idea why this story is being told. Like, just answer the question. Like, and you said very simply, would you not, move heaven and earth to be in front of a camera saying that you didn't do this or you didn't say this? I didn't turn my son in. That was pretty simple. I have no idea what we're doing. I am.
He ends up
and this
knowing,
story, I'm with you. Go ahead.
having more knowledge than what the doctors think he should have as an enlisted person. Like, how do you know all this stuff? How do you know mechanism of injury, anything like that? If you're not a doctor, are you a doctor? Are you an officer? No, I'm an SF medic. Oh, Special Forces Green Beret? Oh, immediately they went ahead, they got offended. And of course, they didn't immediately take any of his advice. They delayed treatment. As they did, she passed.
He's also said multiple times that he is medically retired. All right. He's also not medically retired.
Away. What they found out later.
I know you don't want interruptions. I'm sorry, but I just found this and it goes right with this, what we were talking about. I'm trying to make sure that big accounts haven't posted your information. And This person that posted this video originally literally asked Grok why the post was labeled as age-restricted adult content. Hello, have you listened to this phone call?
Yeah. Well, it's Stu
Wow.
Peters who originally posted this, and it's been reposted by Project Constitution, Diligent Denizen, and about 50 other accounts. So
Oh, I thought this was the original. My bad.
no, this is
Daycare that day,
I'm playing this off of Stu Peters' account.
That's where I am right now.
She's
And
been hit
Stu
in the
Peters
forehead
literally asked
by
why it
the
was labeled
daycare
as
owner's
age-restricted
son,
adult
a
content.
5-year-old. This little girl was like 2, with a swing, had knocked her flat out. And they didn't report it.
Wow.
They put a Band-Aid on her, sent her home. Why didn't they report it? Because the daycare owner, she was the daughter of the elected sheriff, who called Dad when she had a knocked out 2-year-old at her place. Dad said, put a Band-Aid on it, don't say a word, send her home. So that's when me and Joe saw her. Doug didn't take her to the emergency room. 2 days later, they finally go, she's dead. Now, what do they do to get out of all of this? That sheriff ends up putting investigators on it to go ahead and turn Doug into a child abuser. Doug had never abused anybody in his life.
Sure.
And now, was he gregarious? Was he? Did him and Terry maybe get into some yelling matches? Absolutely. They were those types that what do you call it? They yell at each other and then they turn very passionate. The next thing you know, you have to leave because they're making noise in the bedroom. It's like, oh, geez, you know. So, but yeah, no, I sat there and had to be a witness to the sheriff putting out in the paper that both him and Terry had admitted to harming this little girl. And they did that, and they held him on house arrest for years as they basically isolated him. They put out, I can't tell you how many times in the newspaper, they put out false things. They would say that those people said something that they didn't.
Sure.
Just to poison the jury pool, just to poison the public. And they did, and they got away with railroading him. He got convicted. He was in jail for 13 years until they finally, the daycare owner had a crisis of conscience, and she came forward. And even then, they couldn't get him out of jail, but eventually some deal got worked out. He's now moved on with his life. It's caused him tremendous amount of pain. We lost a valedictorian SF medic. So now you're telling me, you know, would they come up with something? Would they come up with a lie? Would they say? Would a prosecutorial team lie to the public?
No, I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
Oh yeah,
no,
they would. I've had it happen to me here.
I 100% believe that they would. What I'm saying is the parents. If they're putting things in the charging documents, that they're basically using the parents' testimony, which they do, as evidence against Tyler Robinson. What I'm saying is that the parents, the fact that
what would stop them from going out? I'll tell you exactly what it is. The attorneys would tell the parents to shut up. Don't fight it. We'll fight it in court. We promise.
That's not true.
I guarantee you.
No.
All of that's possible. I don't disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is that when it comes to the court case, if that is true, then we get the parents up on, because it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
If the parents get up on the stand and confirm or deny that, the case is going to fall apart. If this was all a lie.
Based on your opinion right there, just that alone, that would make a case fall. I get you. And I think that, you know what, if that holds up and all of that's true and these texts and everything else, hey, wow, okay. If that's what really proves it, fantastic. Okay, we got the guy that did
solve it.
it.
That doesn't prove that this isn't a larger conspiracy. And this is one of the things that I've said from the beginning. And me and Dave
Still don't explain what I saw down, and it doesn't explain what I saw the day before.
That's what we.
That's what you saw.
And that is exactly why I contacted you, because this is a critical piece. It's not about debunking you. It's about, hey, is this indeed true?
Am I accurate? Do I have good eyesight? Can I remember stuff? Do I have a pretty good memory? Am I vetted as an SF guy? All the credibility in the world. I get it. Yep.
All of that's true.
You know what I say to it?
Here's the thing. There's nobody that's going to be harder on the U.S. government than me and Nate if this is true. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I don't give a shit if it comes to find out that I want to know who the fuck killed Charlie Kirk. That's what I want to know. And if the U.S. government was involved in one way or another, here's the other thing. Even if Tyler Robinson is indeed the shooter, that doesn't exclude the U.S. government from involvement, because I think, just like Thomas Crooks, and this is where I was going with earlier, I think that somebody recruited, radicalized, and weaponized this guy, even if that's the case. So that still puts, and that's something that needs to be discussed and make people understand that is something absolutely possible.
You're a gun guy, right? Let's do something. Listen now, you mind if we take a little minute to analogize?
Sure.
What's going to stop him?
I do want to hear this.
All right, so you got a car shop and you got cars that don't run. Okay, so people bring them in, they don't run. And every time you go into that car shop, and that car shop says, that's a broken cylinder head, you got to replace the whole engine. Okay. So the next guy comes in, he can't start the car. All right, different car, whatever. And he says, broken cylinder head, you got to replace the engine. Okay, fine. You do that a third, fourth time, fifth time, every single problem that goes into that shop, supposed complicated issues, and it's the same thing. Broken cylinder head, got to replace the engine. Now, call me stupid, but I don't think every car that don't start has a broken cylinder head and needs an engine replaced, right? You with me on that? Okay. So when I take a look at any of these things, if I do have an opinion, and maybe this gives you enough, and I look at some of this stuff, and I don't want to necessarily be a conspiracy theorist. You and I both want to shoot things down the middle. The only thing I find weird about every single incident since JFK, to include the one that you brought up there with Martin Luther King. So JFK, Martin Luther King, Ronald Reagan, President Trump, and now Charlie Kirk, and there's probably a few more in there. Every single time, it's a lone shooter and magic bullets. Every time the FBI gets involved, whatever section that is, there's some old guy sitting up there, and it seems like he is that mechanic in the thing who says the broken cylinder head, you got to replace the engine every time. Well, somebody at the FBI, they've got this narrative where it's lone shooter, magic bullets, lone shooter, magic bullets, and you would have a fantastic point, and maybe I can give you advice for your show if I could be so bold.
Be bold, do it.
Go repeat the findings. Go repeat the magic bullet. Go get a 30-06, get on a roof, shoot it from that angle, and have it lodge in the neck. You repeat that, then you got something.
Well, we're going to.
Can you order magic bullets on Amazon asking for a friend?
Because right now,
Yes, you can definitely order them.
what I need to know what the ammo is. When we get, and it's probably going to be, we're going to have to wait until the trial because there's literally over 1,000 variations. I have like 20 different types of 30-06 ammo down in my basement right now that I've ordered.
Yeah, you stock up on. Yeah. Well, I mean, if I see somebody, because I've seen Valhalla get out there, I've seen some of these other guys do their stuff, and I was really proud that somebody actually did some ballistics. We get to see it, right? And a 30-06 completely just, it does exactly what I've seen it do in the past, and what every hunter has seen do in the past. Every once in a while, there's a one-off.
Yep.
But why is it every time there's an assassination? Why is it that is the time that we got this lone shooter, magic bullet stuff, one-off things going on? That to me, it doesn't instill confidence in me.
No, look, there's nothing, just like I talked about, there's nothing. What we're talking about is atypical results.
Atypical, yeah.
Folks, I do want to let you know I am playing this at 1.5 speed, just to be fair to him. I know some people are saying he's talking really fast. He does talk fast, but he just rambles on and on. That part's true. But we are playing it at 1.5 speed, so I just want to make sure that you guys understand that.
It's weird.
Without a doubt. And I'm completely open to the idea that the government's...
Yeah, I'm just a regular old guy just sitting here. I try to live my life. And again, none of this is convenient for me and what I've been trying to do to get my son back. So, when I look at this stuff, I just, oh, Lord. Hey, go somebody go repeat this stuff.
Fortunately or unfortunate for you, I think you potentially have the information and the key. Because if we can verify your story, I think it changes everything. And that's why that you have become such an important piece of this.
I will tell you, there's a lot of information I gave about where I was, what I was doing, the devices I had on me. No, I'm not a spy. I did not mean to walk into stuff, but I did give it up to, everything I gave it over to Miss Owens, and I gave it to Joe Kent. There's, and that's, again, I offer my witness statement. I think that there's going to be more corroborating things coming. And I'll just give that to you. But I do believe that the truth, what I saw, it doesn't change anything you've talked about with magic bullets one bit. I have no opinion, no connection. I'm not with, I didn't know Charlie Kirk. I watched him, absolutely support him. I thought what he did was courageous. Thought it was also dangerous. Because I've seen some of those literals. If you ever go to Portland, holy cow, don't ever have a Trump sticker on your car. I don't know. Where I was, what I was doing, it had nothing to do with any of that stuff. I just have the worst luck in the world. I really do.
You do.
I agree
that you do. And like I said, that's why it's so important to corroborate your story.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is the truth. I mean, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. No narrative matters. What matters is the truth. And if we can corroborate your story, and again, just like I told you before, I'm going to be your biggest advocate without a doubt. And we need to get you on the show. We need to get more information on that, and see where this leads. That's what we need to do.
Well, we'll I'm all for it. I can tell you, me personally, ever since any of this is aired, the internet trolls are out there. They're digging up superficial stuff left and right, and they're trashing the hell out of my name. And of course, look, Native Valhalla, I hope you spoke to him. I got no hard feelings. I'm going to razz him a bit. No offense. He can be a big guy like once. I made a whole living of big guys underestimate me. I'll chop down a redwood and break its branches off. But I like him.
His 5'2" wife ripped his arm out of socket.
Bro,
right,
he's closeted. How many times has he mentioned another man and their physique or is something like this dude is closeted. I'm sorry. Allegedly, in my opinion, not the opinion of the channel. I mean, this is too much.
Yeah.
This is
I
crazy.
think you guys wrong.
Look, I said the same thing. I said the same things as they did. Like, hey, I don't think this guy was an SF guy. And I'll be the first one to go on the record and be like, hey, you know what? I checked out a story and Nate said the same thing. I just talked to him. I was like, looks, he sent me some documents already.
I'm an SF guy. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of SF guys that hate me for being an SF guy. I've been eight-balled like crazy.
Yeah, no, there's personalities in SF. Just like
Yeah, there's a few. The whole Teddy thing, you should have seen that thing going. I remember that went on. That was nuts. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Remember what? Say that again?
Oh, Teddy, he was one of the first guys, like the Survivor. No, it wasn't Survivor show. Dual Survivor on the History Channel. He made all sorts of claims, and then him and George Davenport from the Green Beret. What was it? Protectors of the Green Beret. I forget what they called it back then.
Guardians of the Green Beret.
Guardians of the Green Beret. George Davenport started slamming him. They went back and forth. Those guys were going to kill each other. They were stalking each other, going to kill each other. Eventually, it came out that there was a big court case. That's what actually locked down. SF Brothers ended up losing like 4 years of data because Facebook had to lock it all up because the History Channel locked down there with legal stuff. Yeah, SF guys, when things go, it tends to be, sit back, grab your popcorn. It's going to be a freaking fireworks show. Anyway, we get ourselves involved.
I got a appointment I got to get to, but like I said, whether, unfortunately for you, I think you are the key to this entire thing. I think when you get everything you said corroborated, I think it's, I think it opens this thing up to something much, much bigger. And
we'll see where this goes. I'm open to it. I think Miss Owens' camp, she's weary about you guys. And I think she's weary about everybody. To be totally honest, after talking with her, she's scared too, but she's also brave. From what I can tell, she's a fighter and she's following her stuff. I don't necessarily feel like we've got all the answers. Nobody's paid attention.
Well, that's a fact, without a doubt. No matter what, no matter where all this lands, we don't have the answers.
We don't. Federal government. I understand they have there's a prosecution. At some point, the federal government forgot that they're supposed to be prosecuting in order to be, how do you say? They're supposed to be reporting to the public. They're not. It's not supposed to be a prosecution for somebody's career. Okay, just to win. We prosecute.
Report to the public
to assure the public we've done the right thing. We're their boss. They should be reporting this stuff. If we don't know, there's something wrong. And I understand they've got a case to prosecute.
Yeah, there is especially as a high-profile case. Look, I see it from all angles. I see that they can't contaminate the jury pool. At the same time, they are trying to prosecute this case. At the same time, we expect transparency, and there's a fine line there. And I'm sure on both. I think there's some expectations from the public that are a little unrealistic, but I also think that the U.S. government isn't, or at least at this point, really, it's Utah. I think Utah maybe it could be one of two things. Either they're being extremely careful because of the profile of this case, or they're covering things up. I'm open to it all. And I think all of those things are possible. We just got to collect as much information as we can to figure out what the truth actually is. And that's what I want to do. I want the government held accountable. I don't trust the government. We saw that the FBI lied about, or the government lied about COVID. We know the FBI lied about January 6th. We know that the COVID vaccines. We know that there's been conspiracy after conspiracy after conspiracy. There's no doubt about it. But then you also have other things like QAnon. So it's like, all you can do is judge each one of these individually, figure out the facts, and then we can figure out who's
what was the truth. I keep hearing about this QAnon. I'd never really got it.
So QAnon was this big conspiracy thing online right around the time right before the first Trump administration. And it was another, ultimately what I can tell you for sure, I don't know where it originated, but what it was this disinformation operation. For sure, it was a huge psyop. And all these people on the right were buying into this thing that it was a bunch of different things. There was these Q drops, and Q is a reference to the highest level of classification. So
clearance.
The idea was that there was somebody with a Q clearance that was sharing information to the public. And this person was known as Q. And Anon obviously would be anonymous.
That makes more sense. I get it now. Okay.
So, but one of the things that they said was that the moment that Trump wins the election, JFK Jr. was going to appear, and he's not been dead. And it was a whole bunch of other things that ended up being untrue. And what I think it was a product of the left that was trying to discredit and make the right look stupid, and they did a really good job of it. So that's the context of this. So I do think that there are people that take advantage of the fact that we know that there are conspiracies, and the fact that we are distrustful of the government. And again, these could be political actors. They could be, the George Soros types, or they could be.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, you're okay. Let's say Candace Owens is alleging there's a conspiracy of the government or TPUSA or whatever, and then you've got you're saying, wait a minute, there's other governments that are conspiring against us, and they're conspiring with Candace Owens. Okay, so we got all of these allegations going on. Nobody really knows the truth unless you're there. I agree, and I'll tell you, all I know is I have a real bad habit of showing up in the craziest of times and happen to be.
Yeah, that's a true statement.
This is the last thing I want to be in the middle of. This whole thing was the last thing. At the same time, I can't.
I think that GoFundMe just determined that was a lie.
There ain't nothing you can pay me.
Right.
And as far as like what I'm going to put this, so in case you're taking notes, I ain't taking a damn cent from Candace Owens. My heart goes out. Like, I'm so humbled by the support she put out there that she's intending to do a fundraiser for me. And from what I hear, that there's an account building, and until you guys vet go ahead and air my dirty laundry and let me defend it, whatever. I don't plan to take a cent from this. I want justice for me and my son. I've told Candace Owens this. That's what I was seeking when I went down there. This is all a distraction. It is it has sucked all the air out of the room. And I hope we get past it. I hope you guys do find all the answers. What I can say is there ain't you can't pay me $1 to lie. I know what I saw. I think I do. And I'm typically pretty damn good at that stuff. And it's unfortunately not a gift. It's a curse as well, as you're starting to see. So
I think the thing that you and I are
I know what the curse is.
No matter what, I'm not going to do you dirty.
I appreciate it.
Dox you or anything crazy like that.
Hey, you came at me a little bit hard on that. I saw a little bit of it, but again.
Oh, yeah. No, I did.
I'm an SF guy that's sort of disconnected from SF, and you're like, the hell, I ain't heard of this guy before. Yeah, I totally get it. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
No.
And that's why I wanted to reach out to you personally.
I'm glad you did.
And I think that's the right thing to do. And so, like I said, man, everything checks out. You're not gonna have a bigger advocate than me, Nate, for sure. I promise you.
I appreciate that. And if I don't know what else you guys need to check out, but yeah, I'll give it to you. And you guys go ahead and do your thing. Let me know that you guys.
Do you mind if I give Nate your phone number as well?
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I've reached out to him. I paid, he owes me a little bit of money now because I paid like $45 trying to do a super chat, trying to get a hold of him, give my contact. Dumbass.
Well, I'll give him your phone number, and you can get your money's worth out of him.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't know how I get paid for all this stuff, but anyway, you guys have all that figured out.
Bro, what?
One of these days, show up to court for me. That would be great.
We'll do what we can. Listen, I gotta get to another appointment, but like I said, I just want to give you a call. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you being honest with me. And,
yeah, you bet, Gary. It's been good talking to you.
You too, buddy. Thanks.
All right, Gary.
Talk about.
Yeah. Say the exact same things that I always say in the show. Very consistent. There's no doubt about that. Let me just do this real quick. All right. So real quick, let me remove this. We will get this set up right here.
There we go.
All right. Let me go through some of these. You guys, I'm gonna start hitting some of the super chats real quick. I got about 10, 15 minutes. You guys got anything
knock your supers out.
Add to that or anything like that?
I want you to get done with your supers, but he just reminds me of the guy that comes to the high school reunion, and everything that you say that you've done, he's done it like that and then some. Yeah. Oh, you go hunting? Oh, I wrestle bears. Oh, you skydive? I'm an astronaut. Oh, you like to surf? Let me tell you, I've been down to the Titanic. It's everything he says is almost, or everything you say or whatnot is like a one up. Oh, I know this guy. You don't know Tong Win? Oh man, the guy was crazy. You don't know James Bond? That's my nephew, man. Everything was just a one up story. It's crazy.
100% true. Dumb C303. Oh my God. Candace Owens cult members. Mitch was at the military base. No one is questioning that. He lied that Brian was there, that Erica was at the hotel. He's fabricating a story for 15 minutes of fame. He's definitely fabricating a story that he walked in on some secret meeting. It did not happen. There would be no meeting there at Joint Task Force Southern Border. It's not what they would do, and the U.S. military wouldn't be involved. That would be a clandestine operation with the deepest, darkest sections of the CIA. Do you think there's a bigger game going on? I'm feeling this isn't organic and they're pulling real independent media to confuse it more. Yes, I do. That's what I said from the beginning. And I think all of this is inorganic. And I know, like I saw several chats talk about, Gary, why don't you just move on? Don't give this guy air. Folks, you have no idea what's happening over on X. Let me tell you something. They are pushing this. They're defaming me. They're saying I'm a liar, that I'm a Fed. Like, there's no other choice but to fight back on this. We're going to fight back on this from an information standpoint. I'm not going to let them get out a negative, false narrative while I just sit here on my hands. All right. We're going to combat this head on at all times. And then we are going to take legal action in multiple different arenas. So fear not. Time will make fools of this man and Candace. You all will be vindicated in Charlie's honor. Sending best wishes from Canada. Truth always prevails. This is from Solo. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, buddy. Elizabeth, keep kicking butt, Gary. Thank you very much. Odorized ramblings. Mitch, I want to buy you lunch. Come back to Arizona. Let's break bread. I'll break something else. If you high five him, it'll probably break his entire arm, leg, back. Thank you very much, Dom. I see you changed your. I was talking to Dom C, and I thought it was a dude because she had a lighthouse as an icon, as a yeah. So, anyways, thank you, Dom C. I see you changed that. She corrected me. Thank you for trying to wake up Candace Colt. Gary, Candace is not seeking the truth for Charlie. She is using this as an opportunity to destroy TPUSA. The reason Charlie kept things cordial with her is that he understood her capabilities and knew her soul. And I do think that, you know, Charlie was just a peacemaker. He wasn't going to call somebody out publicly unless he had to. That's what he was trying to do. He was trying to avoid what she is doing, and that is fracturing the right needlessly. Been reading X posts attacking Gary. No better proof that the Cantifa cult is demonic than attacking someone of Gary's caliber on behalf of a woman abusing serial liar. I'm all over these low IQs. Thank you, Dr. Altoids. I've seen you on X, and I appreciate that.
Am I the only one noticing the pattern of the fact that this fraction of the right that's going towards this Candace Owens stuff, along with a portion of the left, it's the same as the Democrats defending all these criminals and, you know, criminal illegal wife beaters, and now Maduro. Like, Democrats, we want you know, no dictators. We need a regime change. Trump has to go. No kings. Also, Democrats, free Maduro. It's like the same situation.
Honestly, it's a lot of the same people. What I've realized, and a lot of this has to do with the stuff that Patriot Dad and you guys have been covered, is the fact that there's a huge element of Antifa in the Candace Owens crowd. That's a fact. The other part of this is most of those people that are conservatives or Republicans, most of those are never Trumpers, and then there's a huge faction of the left that is pushing and supporting this. Those are all very obvious. You'll start talking to these candy cult members and they'll say, oh, just like your leader, and you know, they start trashing Trump. They were never part of MAGA. There's some that were. I mean, there's a bunch of crossover and a bunch of intermingling, but the fact is that the left has hijacked Candace's movement as well. Dom C, again, Gary, we appreciate all your hard work. Please don't let the trolls get to you. We love your channel and support you in every show, even if we disagree. God bless you. Thank you for your service. SK, I'm a fan. You rock, girl. You do rock, SK. I feel like Jay Witt right now is Mr. Wilson off of Home Improvement. You just
there we go.
That was me the other day, but it was good because I was trying to eat pieces of beef jerky because I was starving. So the thing would pop up and I'd put a piece of beef jerky in my mouth.
Motorcycle gangs isn't exclusive to Harleys, i.e. Rough Riders. Correct. Megas Ladon, new member. Thank you very much. She got 2 memberships. You're awesome. Folks, again, if you want to support us, you can become a member. We have that. You can also go be a subscriber on X. You can go to our newsletter if you want to support us through, oh God, where's our newsletter from? What's the main like vlogging? I don't know. I'll think about it in a minute. Anyways, yeah. So anyways, there's lots of different ways. Substack. There you go. Substack. You can go be a contributor / subscriber on Substack. Many different payment options and levels and all this stuff. If he had changed his name, he had to have updated his military ID before he could have gone on base. MP called his son using the new name and had son's number. Yes. So he does have a new name. He does have his ID card. Right. I have copies of it. In his new name. And he did call his son. His son wasn't even aware they changed his name. So, sorry I'm late. What I missed? Did Mitch Snow give details about leading the Maduro extraction team?
You didn't miss anything. You missed a lot of nothing.
Yeah. What was left out was the cartel story. I suspected that was the case. I was right. He spent 30 minutes talking about his whole thing down at the border that he gave his spiel on Candace's show, or Candace provided that spiel for him.
Right.
And then he talked about burning, truckloads of drugs. Either he or Stu or Candace decided to leave that out.
Wow.
Anyone seen MS boarding passes, cars, hotels received? What does report not include? Neff, who he said took him outside, nor the call to son. Where was son listed as emergency contact? Since when, why, how, 30 years later? I don't have good answers for you on that. What I do know is that the report states that that entire incident took place at around 11 a.m., not at 7:37 a.m. like he claims. So that's what that report states. Mitch watched too many Misery, Sons of Anarchy, and Jason Bourne. I agree. Odorized rambling, free speech is absolutely not permitted on CommuTube. I tried several times to post a super chat, and anytime you type anything negative about a boy named Mitch, it's put down. I also could not, I had trouble posting this on YouTube. We've had a bunch of content removed, not necessarily related to this, but we've been under attack like I've never seen for like the last 3 months. I was kicked off of YouTube for a week suddenly. Anyways. Wow. Mitch, want to play hammers and horseshoes? Come on back to Arizona. I'll teach you the rules. Thank you, Karen. We appreciate your membership. Also, thank you. Thanks for the super sticker. We appreciate it. DD Salon. He may have a touch of ADHD as a former addict. He presents as an addict, in my opinion. I have no idea.
I can believe that.
Yep. People claim things don't matter because they're exes and kids who haven't seen him in years. Most are adults now, but they seem to also forget his own mother and brother don't want anything to do with him either. We also had Candace, I'm trying to remember her last name, Kratchik, I believe it's Kratchik, who is a recent girlfriend that talked about the abuse that she went through. She has an ongoing protective order. All of the protective orders that he's had against him. Okay, it's one thing to get an initial protective order on nonsense, but what doesn't happen is like you got to have some probable cause and some information and backing of it to get those protective orders renewed. He's had multiple protective orders renewed, and I don't even care about that. Wow. That's not necessarily relevant to this case. So what's relevant to the case is that he has lied multiple times about multiple things. That is what we're talking about. All right,
but character matters.
Character does matter.
Pretend character doesn't matter.
It's not completely irrelevant, but what's most important here is that he has been known to fabricate stories whole cloth, and that's what we're dealing with. Only to the Candace cult would none of that stuff matter. Thank you, Ashley Clark. Thank you, Ashley Clark. So the Zodiac Killer used to take Mitch shooting. His dad is the Zodiac Killer. That's his. He started making that claim.
Did he really say his bird's name was Zodiac?
No.
Or did I just see a comment that said that and it was funny?
No. His first name was Harry Myers.
Yeah.
No. The bird.
Oh, I don't know.
That's a good question. I don't know.
The macaw or whatever it was.
I don't know. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I have 2 family members that are mentally ill. Listening to his rapid fire ramblings, interruptions reminds me of listening to them. This guy is mentally ill. I don't disagree with that. Here's $5, Gary, just for having to listen to Mitch all over again. You real MVP. It was very frustrating. I remember just like it was like one long anxiety attack talking to him because you ask him a question and it's never a direct answer. It's never quick. It's never easy. It's just constant, a story after story, and where he's, the main character. He definitely has main character syndrome. It's very obvious that Mitch was recording theater in order to post it online. It's completely ridiculous and psychotic. I agree. Mitch talking about a magic bullet, but healed in 3 weeks from all those injuries to overthrow the cartel. Hang in there, man. Thanks, bud. Please bring Gray Hughes back on to go over his timeline, docs, videos, stills, and Google mapping so people can see just how cut and dry this case is. We do need to have Gray back on. Gray is awesome. I love that guy. He's great. Gary, I don't know how you were able to stay on the phone as long as you did. It was not easy. How old is his son? Well, he has a son that I believe is 29 years old, maybe older, the one that we have. And then his other son that is talking about in the custody battle and all this other stuff is 13. Now, one thing that's important to know about this is that he's had his parental rights from his youngest son removed, but he can at any time, there's court documents I have, and Lene told the story, and I also heard the story from Candace as well, and Aaron. he can actually go and file a simple document and get his parental rights restored. He hasn't done that for multiple years now. CJ Carenti, big supporter of the channel. My dude. Thanks, CJ. You're the man. Shady Lady Katie. God bless you, Gary. God bless you, Katie. Candace Owens seems she is TPUSA's controlled opposition. And do you think both the controller and its opposition are being controlled by the true opposition? Stay woke America first. I don't know. I think the opposition is multifaceted and complex. And I think there's multiple people that have hijacked, multiple entities, multiple actors that have hijacked and are exploiting what she's doing. I used to always say, I don't even think she's aware of it. The more I think about it, I think that's unlikely. I think she has some awareness to that. I don't know how deeply involved and complicit she is in some of these things, whether it's political adversaries to MAGA movement, Trump, Republicans, conservatives. But I think it's sophisticated. I think she's aware of it, and there's a lot of money behind it. And I do think whether we're talking about, well, really any of these countries that are tied to the UN, are going to see this as an opportunity to damage the Trump administration, and are going to push these narratives, because the last thing that they want is somebody like Trump in the White House. I mean, those are great work as always. Thank you. Thank you. I got about 5 minutes here. We'll try to get to some of the live comments, and then we got to call it a day.
Just for the record, real quick. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that the person that made that comment said it was them being funny that made the comment, because that was a W comment. I was kind of not paying attention on and off because, Mitch, but I saw that comment and I thought it was funny and I wasn't sure. So I just want to correct the record.
No worries. Yeah, she's flipped multiple times. She's flipped overnight multiple times. Look, Candace has continued to jump narratives, whatever's convenient, whatever seems the most impactful. That's what she switches to. Almost all the narratives that she's put together are, mutually exclusive. And yet she jumps from one to the next. And even though she's implicated other people, she still has never, she basically said when she came back from talking with Erica that Mikey's actions weren't as weird. She also said when she came back from that, like, oh, it was a she said fragmenting bullet. She meant frangible bullet. So she basically accepted the 30-06. She just kind of, glances over all this stuff without.
You mean this cannon round that goes in an actual cannon?
Now, that's what she said on her show. I don't know where she stands now on some of that stuff. I don't really care. But the fact is that we have a moving target when it comes to her narratives. And they're crazy. And look, I just want to tell you guys, again, if you're not on X, you don't really understand what's going on. There's a huge effort with these. I mean, we're talking millions and millions of views now of these things, narratives and whatever else, saying that, I'm a liar, I'm a Fed, I'm a traitor to this country, all these. This has been hugely impactful on my family. It's not going to stop us, but let me tell you something. It's, they're doing it all they can to get us to stop. We're not, just so that they're aware. But this has been we've had death threats. We've now been both our addresses have been put on, we've been doxxed multiple times, my cell phone number. My wife is concerned for our safety and kids. I am too. But that's where we are on all this. And that's why it's so important to get out and actually show you guys the truth of this. This whole narrative that I'm such a slime bag for this phone call. They're the ones that released an illegal phone call. They're the ones that have edited this phone call. I've said from the beginning, as soon as I had this phone call, I told everybody about it. I've mentioned it multiple times that I talked to Mitch 2.5 hours. Those are just facts. Don't know.
1 hour and 55 minutes, according to the video posted on the internet.
Yeah.
Wild stuff, man. Wild stuff.
So it also, it also shows the coordinated attacks that are coming from the left and coming from Candace's party. They've been coordinated from the very beginning. She has a whole orbit of all these people that are pushing what she's been saying from the beginning. And, you know, there hasn't been a coordinated attack on her. Most of these people, and the people were like, oh, there's a psyop against Candace because of the Fort Huachuca thing. No, whether it's Evan Kilgore or many other people, like the Fort Huachuca thing was just a bridge too far. And people were like, nope, stop. Like, now you're accusing the military. Now you're saying this ridiculous event happened. This is all bullshit. And we're going to come out and we're going to say something about it. And she has lost her own following on that. And folks like me, Nate, and other people that have debunked this said, hey, this is why this isn't true to begin with. And then we have all kinds of other information after the December 20th phone call that I had with Mitch. I mean, I found out all the things we've released since then. So, well, listen, we're gonna have to close down shop, but listen, Jay Witt and SK, man, I appreciate you guys coming on. Appreciate you, all your support. All
you got it, my friend.
There, you know, we just appreciate your love and support. It means a lot. Get out there and fight against this narrative. The truth matters. Truth matters a lot. That is like all that matters. All right. And the truth isn't always popular, but it's worth it.
Yes.
And that's a direct quote from Charlie Kirk.
Yes. And, you know, the truth always wins. So, I mean, when you're standing firm in your convictions and you know that the truth's on your side and you're not doing anything wrong or with any ill intent, there's no reason to worry. But also, everybody, please pray for a hedge of protection over everybody that's being, yeah, there you go. Everybody being attacked, because it is very scary and it is not fun. Being pushed out into the spotlight for any of these things. So make sure everybody is praying for everyone that's out in the spotlight and being attacked, because it's definitely not fun. Also, I would encourage everyone to go back to like the 80s and 90s and watch, like, I don't know, an episode of like 60 Minutes or whatever the shows were back then when they did investigative journalism, because those journalists would pretend to be anything and everything, talking to people in order to find out the information that they were looking for, and people pretending that what we just listened to was some sort of was not okay in any way is absolutely beyond comprehension to me. Like, were you guys not alive in the 80s and 90s? What he just did was what normal people do when they have a conversation. I don't understand it at all.
Yeah. And that's what you do when you're investigating something. Like, trying to pretend I did some underhanded thing is absolutely insane. The last super chat. Thank you, Amanda, very much.
Wow, very nice.
It's Gary and Jay Witt. What's up, Jay Witt? Green hearts in the chat. It's very lovely to meet SK, researcher who puts to shame all the other little R researchers. This is a team, God, guns, and good research. 3 American heroes who have my thanks and admiration. You both and everybody out there have my thanks and admiration as well. And again, appreciate everybody. Keep
fighting, man. Thank you.
The struggle is real and the struggle is worth it. Without the truth, we have nothing and we will lose our country. You guys stay right there. But for everybody else out there, I want you to have a wonderful Sunday. And until next time, stay armed, stay ready. We'll talk to you soon.